Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Thursday, January 7th, 2021. Yesterday, on January 6th, 2021, I received 5 210 tweets telling me that if I did not lead off today's show talking about what happened yesterday in Washington, D.C. to the Capitol, they would cancel me. So, shout out to them. That's how we started the show. If you are a person who thinks to yourself whenever something like what happened yesterday happens, you go, you know what? The person I want to hear talk about this is a guy who played soccer most of his life, watched 0 Disney movies, went to college to kick a football, went into the NFL to play football, then he did some comedy. If your first thought is, you know what, I want to hear what Pat McAfee has to say about potentially the dumbest event in the history of the United States, I want to let you know, you potentially are one of the dumbest people in the United States as well. I've learned over the past few months that when massive events happen, I have empathy for everything going on. I want the right thing to inevitably win in the end. And I will shine lights on things whenever I deem that it's worth my input. I think if you look around social media, one of the biggest problems is you got a lot of people who have no idea what they're talking about, taking a stand and informing other people what they should be thinking. I'm not one of those people. I have no clue what happened yesterday, okay? There was a fucking Viking was the Speaker of the House for 20 minutes yesterday. There was a guy with long hair smiling for a photo, walking out with the podium that the Speaker of the House uses. There was 4 people died, and there was nooses constructed outside the Capitol with a Confederate flag flying in the United States Capitol. You motherfuckers lost a long time ago. Get your flag out of there. There was a lot of things that happened yesterday that if you take a step back, you go, that is the dumbest thing that has ever happened in this country. So although I don't love giving my thoughts on things that I don't know a lot about, I feel like looking from the outside in, I have no idea how this whole thing ends, okay? We have no clue what's going to happen. Hopefully we all believe that the right thing is going to happen in the end. But from looking on the outside in, I want to let you know where I take a stand at. And it feels like for every situation that happens in the world, if you're a public figure, you have to come out and take a stand. I'm going to take a stand now, and this is my stand previously, and it'll be my stand for events moving forward. I am against any time idiots get in the way of people doing the right thing. So if yesterday happens, just automatically assume that the guy that kicked balls for a living and then talks into a microphone, he is against the fucking idiots out there. Just know it, okay? So don't even think like, I'm gonna go tweet this guy, tell him I wanna hear what he, just know that I'm against the fucking idiots, okay? And I think a large majority of us are. I would hope that a large majority of us are. I feel like our country at one point in the last few months was closer than it's ever been. Then it got distracted. Then everything starts happening. Now the whole world's going into shit or whatever. I just wanna let you know, and I think a large majority of the show, I can't talk for the Boston Stooge Connor, but a large majority of the show, we are against the idiots. And if you watched yesterday, it was very obvious who the idiots were. We hate them, okay? Now, with that being said, we're going to talk for the next 2 hours and 55 minutes or so about stuff that we should talk about and that people should be like, you know what? I would like to know Pat's thoughts on insert thing that happened in the sports world that he has potentially been around in the history of his life and knows about and is comfortable talking. Deshaun Watson wants a trade out of Houston. Oh, my God! Whoa. That's big time news. Am I going to give year-end awards today or tomorrow? Possibly. Yeah, I'll give awards. I'm going to grandstand. I'm going to self-indulge a little bit, and I'm going to say these players I thought were good this year. They're going to make my list. That's going to happen. We got phone calls, 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. We got Ian Rapoport joining us in the second hour. We got Tom Segura, fresh off the most gruesome left arm break I've seen in some time with a leg getting blown to smithereens, joining us in the third hour. Tom Segura plus AJ Hawk and more with all the boys. Evan Foxy, please roll that beautiful bean footage and let's kick off this Thursday, January 7th, 2021 sports show in beautiful fashion.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the show here. We're going to have a great Thursday, January 7th, 2021. Because in our world, the sports world, the NFL world, we got super wild card weekend. Woo! Yeah, let's go! Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. We got 6 games this weekend that matter. We got rookies talking shit to goats. We got things happening all over the place, including in Pittsburgh and Cleveland, the Sunday Night Football affair, the game that'll end super wild card weekend. The Pittsburgh Steelers with no fans in the stands. Only family and friends will be hosting the Cleveland Browns, who do not have Kevin Stefanski, an offensive lineman, and some others due to COVID running wild on their organization in the week that they make the playoffs for the first time in 2 fucking decades. It is a shame. It feels like the Browns have been cursed, but there has been a lot of people that are saying even though COVID got a hold of one member of their organization, the head coach and the play caller, we can adapt like we do in the modern times and get around this COVID case and maybe give Kevin Stefanski a suite in the stadium. Since they're going to be empty, have him drive himself over from Cleveland. He'll drive from the lake down to the Three River City. He'll be in his own car, kind of quarantining in his own little COVID caravan. Then he gets to the stadium, walks up some back steps wearing gloves, maybe one of those masks that the congressmen were wearing yesterday, go all the way into a suite, put a headset on, and be able to call plays.
Make it happen.
If he's not around anybody else, Diggs, why can't we just beat COVID this one time as humans, as a society? We are not letting COVID distract something that we can make absolutely amazing. We're beating COVID just like you, Tone Diggs.
Here's an idea, Pat.
What's that?
If we've learned nothing, actions have consequences. If you don't realize it takes all of us. And you go out there and you get fucking COVID. You sit your ass at home for 10 days in your goddamn house and you take it. And then if you win, you'll be there for the next round. If not,
but the interesting thing, the interesting thing about it is the players, they have to be away because they're near each other. They're on the field.
Right.
Coaches have coached from boxes all by themselves for a long time.
You bet.
Man.
You don't want to open up Pandora's box and then the Patriots will have some sort of thing going on in a separate box where the coach is allowed to be. And
No, I think commish should have to
3D goggles on.
They should have to have an eye, and I want them to have like the hazmat suits on. Somebody should have to escort him into the thing so he's all by himself. It should be a couple of commissions guys, and they should be wearing, or ladies, commissions guys or ladies, and they should be wearing hazmat suits, and they're the ones that escort Stefanski from car up to booth, back in the car, and all the way gone. I don't know. I mean, this seems like something that could be very easily fixable at Ty Schmidt.
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to be up there.
No one.
No one's going to be.
The governor said no one's even allowed in his time.
Exactly. We don't have fans. I mean, what's stopping them from saying, hey, listen, you guys, you've been through a lot this year, okay? You haven't made the playoffs since 2002. Let Coach Stefanski coach.
Yep.
Okay?
That's all we're asking.
That's all we're asking
fair.
for. I mean, I feel like
coach.
that's really not that hard to pull a couple strings and get Coach Stefanski up in the booth.
There's no fans allowed. You think they're going to let COVID positive Stefanski in the stadium?
He's in his own area at Evan Foxy.
How can we be sure?
He used to be a diehard Steelers fan. It sounds like you're getting on this hype train pretty heavily.
It's only fair. And Tony, you don't want to play a bronze team that's not full strength, do you?
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think that Steelers fans do care.
Next round.
And by the way, we're only saying that strictly to stir the pot with the Pittsburgh Steelers fans that are listening. We don't truly believe that. And I don't think Stefanski is even trying to do it. He said, like, that
He's
would.
an honorable man.
Because, by the way, he probably could make a public, like what we just did right there.
Right.
He could start making those statements, and Cleveland reps start saying it, and the media start, why not? A lot of why not pieces. And then there'll be like, I don't know if you saw how I spun that thing. It would be a sign of us beating COVID if we let him do this. Yeah. I mean, there are so many. That public pressure that could have got on old Commish to make this happen could have been a very real one, but Stefanski's like, nah, man, that ain't how this fucking goes. Which, by the way, a lot of respect for him.
Honorable man.
Well,
Maybe he doesn't care enough.
See, that's
You know what I mean? If we're up to me, I think Stefanski should bring someone to the NFL like, look, I'll jump through a few hoops. You put me in a helicopter, get me a bungee jump cord, and I'll jump off that helicopter, land on top of Heinz Field, climb down into that booth, and then we'll do the same thing the other way. Base jump off the top of the roof to get out of the building.
Yeah, and if he win, by the way, just let him go celebrate with the boys. Just like that World Series pitcher.
Well, if they win, then he can go down to midfield and shake Tomlin's hand because Tomlin doesn't have to. Doesn't have to coach next week.
Where does it stop, though? Say a quarterback has COVID, but we petition that as long as he's wearing a deep sea diving scuba mask, and he keeps that on the entire game, and he's got a.
Hey, by the way, why haven't they thought about that?
Seriously.
He's got a tank. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Got a
If
tank.
Ben gets it, you should start pitching this next
going
week.
to.
But the Stefanski coaching from a booth thing, gaining some traction just because it is very hilarious to talk about, because it feasible. It actually
is feasible.
And reasonable thing to happen because he's away from everybody. But Stefanski said, no, I'm not doing that. Just because, you do that, what do the football gods do on the other side? You know what I mean? And the football gods have done enough to Cleveland. The football gods have moved out of Cleveland, by the way. Congrats to them. And they've completely moved their entire tribe right up to Detroit.
Yeah.
And that is a beautiful thing.
He said that it doesn't matter and that Alex Van Pelt will be, just fine calling plays. How many points do you think Stefanski is actually worth?
We'll find out, right? We are going to find out what you think the sports books are saying,
Vegas
too.
says it's 2 points. The line moved 2.
It's already a plus 10. It was at 4.5 at one point.
Yeah.
3.5.
Wait a second.
That's not real.
That's
That was from
1-3-2021.
That was from
last week.
That was
Yeah,
from
that's
last
last
week.
week.
It's at 6.
That one wasn't me.
That was last week. That was last week's game.
Someone else.
No, that wasn't you, huh?
Mitt?
Actually, it's a 5.5.
What are you pointing fingers for? You know what?
Fox.
Let me talk about yesterday a little bit, actually.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about some fucking accountability.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about some accountability. Okay, if Foxy just goes back there, something happens. How many fingers did he have? All of them were pointing away from him. Wasn't editing or cutting anything. Wasn't getting the photo off, by the way, because all his fingers were being pointed in 10 different directions. That was unbelievable, Fox. You look like Connor right there.
Disgusting, Fox.
Yeah, get your department together then. Over
Jesus.
Yeah, I didn't preview that one, that's for sure, because plus 10 is a lot of points.
Well, to the Steelers as well. Would be a lot.
It's 5.5, which I believe you tweeted out was 4.5 when the news broke. So Stefanski's worth a point.
We're going to find out. I think Aaron Rodgers talking about AVP or Mr. Van Pelt.
Yeah.
I think that potentially sports books were like, okay.
Oh,
so,
shit.
All right. So the guy says he seems like a guy. I don't think he would lie. But remember, the Jets hired Gase because Peyton said he was good. So.
True.
That's true.
And the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Lying through his teeth.
Who?
I mean, not Peyton Manning, but
Hey, I will not
the
say anything
people.
about scouting, by the way, because
Of course. It's very hard to know.
It is not easy to know.
No.
It is not an easy
tough
thing
job.
to know. By the way, that guy's still a good ball kicker. Going to get another chance.
That's right.
Hopefully, ball goes through for him those
Hell
days.
yeah.
Little breezy
Hell
day.
yeah.
Nobody even talks about it.
Tough.
Deshaun Watson, another big story of the day, has broached his friends and teammates about the possibility or idea of him asking for a trade. And I would assume it's him asking them and telling them, like, hey, if I do this, I want to let you know this isn't about you, okay? This isn't about anything. I think I need to do what's best for my career. Or I've been told by a lot of people that this would be the best thing for my career. Even though I've always been a team guy and I'm always been a Houston Texan, it does seem like the next 5 to 10 years of this organization is going to be bad and I need to go win some. And I would assume all his teammates say, hey, dude, you do what you got to go do.
Yeah.
If he's loved in there. And it feels like he is if you look at the J.J. Watt video of telling him, like, hey, man, I'm so sorry we wasted a year for you, like one of your years. Like you had a year, like that whole thing. So I think he's liked in the locker room. The fact he's run it by his teammates, Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio's reporting that, which is, by the way, I would assume he told a lot of his teammates, not just a couple if they're finding out that he told his teammates, because I assume the couple that he told are probably his closest friends. They probably didn't tell. And then it kind of, maybe they told a friend or something like that.
Yep.
Who knows? But it feels like Deshaun Watson's going to ask to get the hell out of the H-Town. Okay, and Caserio just got hired out of New England up there, signed a 6-year, $30 million deal. Whew. Okay, $5 million a year. Seems like a great amount of money. Okay, for any human, I'd be pumped to make $5 million a year if I was a general manager, all that stuff. But doesn't that seem low? Like a general manager of a team, you're in charge of a lot of shit. They put that out because, and I think, I forget, maybe it was Rapoport that talked about how normally these numbers don't get out. Like normally you don't hear what the GMs are making. You don't hear those contracts. They don't get out. So the fact that old Bob McClain down there in Houston got the numbers, it was like a good, but that feels lower than what I thought it would be. I just with a new GM signing, normally if it's anything else like the rest of the NFL world, you're kind of setting the standard for what other GMs are going to get hired potentially or re-up for. I just assumed it would be higher than $5 million. If $5 million is going right for a general manager and he seems to be a guy, which a lot of people are saying that this is a guy, okay, good for them. But 6 years, it's potentially going to be one of those things where would he want to rebuild completely? Get rid of Deshaun, get some draft capital because I have no draft picks. Cut JJ, let him move on and go wherever he wants to go because if I cut him, it saves me $17 million. So now I have some draft capital, but I have no quarterback. I have no captains basically at this point. You still have Laramie Tunzel, which you might try to trade if you want to do a complete rebuild. Try to get some more draft picks if that's what you're going to do. Or do you not allow Deshaun Watson to get traded and say, yeah, you can request a trade, but ultimately that's my decision, pal, and we're not going to do that. So that's an interesting little turn of events down there. And Deshaun Watson, by all accounts, good dude, which is I would like to make sure that we get that message across. Like, hey, if you ask for a trade, you think that's your best interest, go do whatever the fuck you got to do. I'm not judging him for that, but Caserio could say, no way are you leaving. We have no draft picks. My first move isn't going to be to cut our best player and then trade our best player and then cut our other guy. That's not what I'm going to do. Or Rich will say, yeah, go ahead and get on. And I got 6 years to figure this whole thing out.
Gumpy was saying this earlier, and it almost makes too much sense. What if what if the Texans trade Deshaun Watson to Miami for Tua and that third pick? Who says no? You still got a first-round pick in Miami. I mean, you get a quarterback to replace Deshaun and the third pick in
So you're just assuming
Houston?
that Casario's like, you know what? The dream quarterback I do want.
Boom, Tua's the guy. Bring him in.
In lieu of like 5 other picks or 4 other picks, I'll just take Tua instead and a number 3 overall.
I know I can win
That
with
wouldn't
Tua.
be enough.
But by the way, if you're getting a number 3 overall, you can get a quarterback.
True.
What about Dak Prescott?
So you probably want more picks. You probably want like 2 2s. That number
RG3,
1.
Like 3 first, and that was someone who wasn't.
Yeah, but that
proven.
decision would never happen
was
again.
Snyder, right?
Yeah, people were like, that's never going to happen. The Rams got like 45 picks, 7 of them being first rounders. The entire franchise was just traded away, basically.
I went through with the NFL, and I'm seeing like maybe 7, 8 teams that possibly wouldn't trade for Deshaun Watson, but everyone else, full go.
Really?
Like Bills wouldn't, Ravens, Bengals, Packers,
Well,
Chiefs, Chargers, and Seahawks is what I.
Patriots should mortgage the entire team to get Deshaun Watson. If you can get a guy that's established and young who's putting up numbers on a garbage franchise like the Texans with Billy O'Stooch, bring him in.
Hey, by the way, bad roster down there.
Yeah.
Guess what? New England got a bad roster up here,
True.
too. But, hey, situational football, we will win.
Exactly. We'll get you 9 or 10 wins, and we'll sneak into that wild card, and then anything can happen when you got the Michael Jordan of football at the helm.
Feels like you're talking yourself into this, and it's not going to happen.
Well, there's no chance. If people are saying that's a possibility, the Patriots will do it, there's no chance it'll happen.
All right, let's get to a break here. Hour 1 on this gorgeous Thursday, January 7th, 2021. One day after the dumbest thing I've ever seen on the internet, potentially. The fucking Viking was the Speaker of the House.
Why?
Bro.
I thought we were leaving that stuff in 2020.
2021 said, hold on.
Nope.
Got a little 2020 hangover for you.
Hold my beer.
We're coming back on the other side with some phone calls, some sports talk, and hopefully some good times here. Feels like the world needs a little bit of that.
Yeah.
This is the Pat McAfee Show, Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I'd get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. And if you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, or maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, you know, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who played for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Welcome back to said show. I think it's about time you spoil the shit out of your dog or dogs with BarkBox.
Hell yeah.
2 toys, 2 treats, and a chew. It starts as low as $22 a month. $23 a month.
Yeah, 23.
$23 a month.
Yes, sir.
$23 a month for $60 worth of dog chews and toys. It's the best day of the month for our dogs, and when their BarkBox arrive, boy, those tails start wagging.
Oh, big time.
I got a corgi, so he's got a nub. You should see that nub go. You know, it's like the back of a boat, that little nub.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a BarkBox, he says. And then he shits in the house because he doesn't like pooping when it's cold outside.
Nice. Sure.
Because he knows that he was probably from the same lineage as the Queen's dogs. And he acts like that every single time. But still need to spoil the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Still love seeing that little nub go.
Get some poop pads.
He won't use the
Past
pads.
that, I think.
Yeah. He has poop locations in the house.
Well, he's a smart dog, right?
Incredibly intelligent, yeah.
But you can't put the poop pads in the location.
I open the door for him to poop outside. His nose gets a glimpse of how cold it is, and he literally just walks backwards and then just looks up. And then I shut the door, and then he just walks away.
Don't worry, Dad. I'll go poop in the kitchen.
Anyways, you should spoil that type of dog and any type of dog because you know what? They make you a better person.
They do.
Join now and get a free extra toy in every box. That's $60 worth of toys for free. Sign up your pup and get a unique toys and snacks, plus a free extra toy every single month. Tailored toys and treats shipped for free every single month. The toys and treats, the shipping is free
Right,
every
correct.
month. Start now and get $60 in free toys. Go to BarkBox.com/Pat. That's BarkBox.com/Pat. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here Thursday, January 7th. There's stuff happening in the sports world. The Atlanta Falcons owner, Arthur Blank, has come out and confirmed again. Because I feel like he has already done this before.
Yes.
And I feel like if you don't do a daily show covering sports stuff, you would not realize how much shit is rebroke as news. Here's some more breaking news that we knew a few weeks ago because it was confirmed in one interview, but it didn't get picked up in enough interviews. So a confirmation that got picked up in enough interviews and enough people heard it. Breaking news. Arthur Blank confirms that both Julio Jones and Matt Ryan will be tradable if the new person in charge deems fit for the future of the Atlanta Falcons.
Holy shit.
I think this was 3 weeks ago he said something.
Something like that, yeah.
The new GM will be allowed to do whatever they want or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that type of thing. But it's still getting reconfirmed at this point. The interesting thing about trades in the NFL, and Deshaun Watson might get traded.
Mm-hmm.
Others might get traded because the salary cap is going to plateau. So people are going to be trying to unload some contracts that they potentially thought they had more room for. Other people maybe have a lot of money, maybe rebuilding. Let me go ahead and scoop up some guys I wouldn't normally be able to scoop because free agency is a little bit more wild. But the trading of Matt Ryan also involves, in Matt Ryan played great football this year, played some bad football as well, but he played some great football. First half against the Buccaneers, he looked unbelievable.
Yeah.
Looked at second half, different story. First half Buccaneers 3 weeks ago looked unbelievable. He also, if you trade for him, you are picking up $100 million in guaranteed contracts. That's a massive quarterback deal.
Huge.
And Matt Ryan, you have to weigh. Matt Ryan, great player. Hey, great player.
Great player.
What has some all-time great moments.
It has been a great player
At
some point in his career.
But he's great. He's won an MVP. Didn't he win an MVP?
Yeah.
MVP quarterback has $100 million alongside of him. Who is going to trade for that? Especially with what we just said about the second. Nobody's going to trade for that. Especially now that Deshaun Watson's potentially available. I'm not going to say that Carson Wentz, I would feel like in some people's minds, would potentially be a better value than Matt Ryan if they were trading for him. I mean, there's a lot of people that are going to be on the market. So maybe Arthur Blank is re-breaking this news to kind of like, hopefully, be like, hey, let's make sure we keep this
still available.
I don't know if they're going to be able to, because if you're Matt Ryan, why would you ever negotiate out of $100 million guarantee? You wouldn't, okay? Like it was alluded to that if Carson Wentz really wanted out of Philly, he could take a $20 million and exchange it in a contract so that it isn't a salary cap hit the next year or whatever. Matt Ryan could do that, but I don't know why you would. Who's trading for Matt Ryan? Julio Jones, I think a lot of people are going to want to go and get. But Matt Ryan, I don't know who's going to want to trade for him. I don't know.
Is this solely because like the Arthur Blank and the Falcons don't want to cut Matt Ryan? Like they don't want the optics of this guy's giving you everything? Or?
If they cut him, they still have to pay. So they're going to trade him to get something back.
Yeah, they wanted that.
So they got to partner the deal with Julio then, package deal. The only way you can get Julio is if you also take the load of bricks. That's Matt Ryan.
Julio's contract's pretty large too, but Julio is still playing at his contract.
Yeah, he's Julio though.
Yeah.
Like if Julio comes to the Colts, by the way.
Super Bowl.
You get Matty Stafford here. You're gonna have to re-sign T.Y.
Jesus.
But you get Julio Jones, T.Y. Hilton, Jack Doyle, and the boys. Jonathan Taylor in the back. Naeem Hines, Matty Stafford.
That defense
off. Oh my God! I just built a team. Anyway, so and the Colts have enough money to do so. But Matt Ryan, how do you? By the way, there's plenty of teams that did what I just did with the Colts. With Julio around the NFL. Packers. Imagine the Packers picking up Julio Jones. I mean, that would be unbelievable because Aaron has a great stable right now of weapons. Great stable of weapons. Let's not get crazy. Okay, even guys that you didn't even know existed before the season started are great football players. Big Bob Tunyon got screwed up. I didn't even know he existed. Played at Indiana State, which is an hour and a half left of here. Okay?
You get it.
Oh, man. That goes back to my first training camp was in Terre Haute, which is where Indiana State is. And I had to tell somebody how to get, and I told them to turn left.
Go left.
And they were like, you don't even know where I'm coming from. I was like, oh, no, but if you're looking at the map, because Terre Haute is west of Indianapolis.
Aim left.
Yeah, you turn left. And obviously, that was an inside. That one's for me. But anyway, Big Bob Tunyon. Big Bob Tunyon, he's one of the best tight ends in the league. Didn't even know. Lazard, whenever he's playing, makes plays all over the field. MVS, now, it has been, there's obviously been a couple plays this year that have been like, okay, but he's become a deep threat. And then obviously you got Devontae Adams, who in the best wide receiver in the league conversation, let alone the backfield and everything else. If you had Julio Jones in that offense, I mean, what are you going to do? How do you stop? You don't. It's like the Chiefs all of a sudden. And then you got teams really out now. But the Matt Ryan thing, I don't know how they move on from that. What pick do they have? 3?
4.
No, Houston has 3, which is Miami. Yeah. They have 4. Do they draft a young quarterback and then just have the young quarterback kind of learn under Matt Ryan and just have to keep his salary? That's probably what it is.
It says they have an out on Matt Ryan after 2021, right? Because I see like a lot of people stirring up that he might go back to, like Shanahan might want him because he won an MVP with Matt Ryan. But with all the guys they're going to have to pay in San Francisco, there's no way in hell they want to take on his contract, right?
Imagine Shanahan with Deshaun Watson.
Oh, man.
No thanks.
That's tough NFC.
I just keep thinking about Carson Wentz throwing to Julio Jones in that Colts uniform and how sweet that's going to be.
All right, let's get some phone calls. So you have Tone was on his computer. He was deep in his computer. I thought he was coming with some prophetic, profound, compelling list of teams.
Oh, you said
that could potentially trade for Matt Ryan.
Sure. Kinda is. If anybody's going to save Carson Wentz, it's Julio Jones.
You said Carson might be more appealing than Matt Ryan, so I just thought about it. Similar contracts.
Frank and Julio, they can save Carson.
Let's go to Derek in Texas. Derek, what's going on? Thanks, Diggs. Shout out, Diggs. Happy you survived COVID. Let's go to Derek in Texas.
Hey, Pat, how are y'all doing, man?
Not too shabby. Derek, how are you, bub?
I'm doing all right. I'm listening to you guys talk about this Deshaun Watson rumor, and my thinking is you bring in this GM, give him $30 million, and the first move he does after he puts his feet on the table is say, well, I'm going to get rid of one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, in a quarterback league. How long do you keep your job?
Yeah,
exactly.
Derek, that's an interesting thing. And also, he's probably going to have to cut JJ too, right? So that's probably going to happen inevitably, just because the way the contract's set up and the conversations that have happened. Trade away Deshaun Watson, cut JJ Watt. Your first 2 moves. How you doing, Houston? Go ahead and strap it up. We got a couple of years here.
It's going to be fun.
Derek, do you think $30 million, was that more than what you thought GMs made or less?
I actually think that was more. That
really?
Was surprising to hear that a guy gets that much money being a GM.
What did you think? What did you think it was?
Honestly, I don't know, but that was to hear 5 years, $30 million. That's a lot of money, man. I'm a trucker, so hell, give me $500,000 of that. I'm happy.
Hey, well, I want to let you know I appreciate what you're doing out there, okay? The backbone of America is the logistics, which are the big boys driving up and down the highways. Tim McAfee logged a lot of miles and hours out there, so I appreciate you doing that. But it's all relative there, Derek. We can't compare what you're making versus what you think an NFL general manager is making, but I do appreciate the shit out of what you got going on, Derek. It would be hilarious to see him just walk in there and go, Deshaun Watson? Yeah, get the fuck out.
Clean out your locker.
So what does he do when Deshaun walks in his office and is like, hey, I want to trade? Like, oh, come on,
he's going to have to win him over. It's like James Harden in Houston.
Yeah.
How's James Harden doing in Houston, by the way?
He's doing all right.
NBA talk right now. Let's go. And by the way, people listening, this might be the only thing they hear about NBA because to me it is.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
So whenever you say what you're about to say right now, know that this is potentially the only piece of NBA information that people will have. They'll carry themselves into a conversation somewhere about NBA off of the information you're about to fucking spill out of your mouth right now. So let's not just make up things. Okay. Let's not do Boston Stooge things.
Right.
Let's not lie about what teams are potentially good.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and give a good NBA breakdown relatively quickly because they do crash the ratings on the show because people say, hey, Pat, want to hear about your Capital talk, but don't want to hear about your NBA talk, okay? So they want to hear, you know what I mean? Just let me know what you're thinking. 2 sentences here. The Sixers are the best in the East, the Suns are the best in the West, and Jimmy Harden's doing no favors for himself to get his ass out of Houston. Okay. NBA talk.
Well done, Connor.
I mean, he's averaging 29 points and 11 assists. It's pretty good.
James Harden?
Yeah.
Oh, he had 15 and 14 last night. He's only played like 3 games. That's the thing. He's
So if he only had 15 and 14 last night, he's only played 3 games, and he's averaging 29, he's having a motherfucking big year.
He's had 1 good game,
I knew you
and
couldn't
that's
do
it. He's had 1 good game.
I knew you
He
couldn't do
started
it.
5 of their 6 games.
I knew you couldn't do it.
That's not true. That's not true.
I knew you couldn't do it. I knew you couldn't do it. I knew you couldn't
What are
do
you
it.
talking about? I just hit the ball out of the park.
Look at this guy. Steps in the batter's box.
Hit the ball out of the park.
Put his Boston Celtics hat on.
Yeah. You want to talk about the Celtics? We can all day.
Let's go to Lucas in New Jersey. What's going on, Lucas?
Basketball doesn't start till March. We all know that.
That's what you should have said. That should have been your NBA information.
No, that's no fun. You got to swing the bat.
No, you don't. That's what my entire lead up was. No, you don't. You don't have to swing
Hey,
it.
look, when the pitcher's in his motion, I am going to take a hack.
I would have balked if I could have. I would have fucking just stepped right off the mound.
Would have been a good move.
I think so.
I'd be on base still.
I'd throw you out over there, though.
No,
Fucking
yeah, I'd be on
I-
base. And then I would have stole second.
No.
And then I'd be standing on second waiting for someone to drive me in.
And then you would lie to somebody and you get tagged out because you'd be in the middle of a bullshit lie. They do the fake ball trick. They throw it out there and you're fucking out.
See, I'd be doing that to the
You're
pitcher.
in the bullpen, pal, or in the whatever, the dugout, the clubhouse. The
Pop
clubhouse.
fly to right field. I'm telling the third baseman, hey, look over here. And then I'm fucking getting the third. And all of a sudden, wild pitch by you, I'm stealing home.
No,
I just hit a home run. Holy shit. Welcome
Not
to the
on me.
NBA.
Not on me.
Welcome to the NBA. You throw a knuckle curve that your fucking catcher can't handle.
Not on me.
It's 1-0 Red Sox.
I don't throw the knuckler. I throw gas every time.
Well, it was too fast this time. Your catcher couldn't even see that son of a bitch.
Lucas in New Jersey, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I was just wondering, are you going to be streaming the Oculus?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that, Lucas. Great question. I was in the Oculus Arena last night, and I have a couple more competitors hopping into the arena that I know. Coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, congrats to AQ Shipley, hopping into the Oculus Arena last night.
Nice.
He is 1-0 with a knockout.
Wow.
Yeah, happy for him. Shout out to you, Lucas. I am going to start streaming it.
Got it.
I am. Zito's normally the guy that sets up all my shit, though, because of Zito production. And Zito's been in the COVID cave for the last couple of weeks. So, by the way, T's and P's, we miss you. Hey, we miss you, Z.
Miss you, Z.
We miss you, man. He's good, though, by the way. We do talk to him every single day. He made the incredible playoffs graphics and other things for the show still. He is still working, but we are as much as he wants. It's not like him.
Not as hard as that iron lung he's sitting in.
Jesus, Nick.
It just stinks.
Nick.
Zito, you did not deserve that.
Doesn't mean it.
Zito's watching right now, okay, listening to what you just said.
Come on.
Hope you feel good about yourself. Hope you feel good about yourself, Nick. Let's go to Cody in Wisconsin. What's going on, Cody? Save us, please.
I actually want to talk about the fucking Chargers. Who the hell are they going to hire? I saw that they were interviewing Jason Garrett, and
Yeah,
I really hope they don't hire that fucking stooge.
Cody, take it easy. You seem a little negative, all right? I understand that's the world right now, trying to turn that kind of on its head right now. But Cody, they're interviewing Jason Garrett strictly because the Spanos family is close with Jimmy Johnson and Norv Turner, who have ties to Jason Garrett, probably interviewing him. Probably not. Maybe they will hire him because from what I've been told is the Spanos family actually runs that entire operation. It's not like Tom Telesco is going to be doing the coaching hiring. Allegedly, from what I was told by Michael Lombardi, a man who I trust and has a lot of football knowledge, he says the Spanos family is running the show over there. So maybe they'll hire Jason Garrett. Maybe they'll give him another shot. Maybe they'll see what happened to the Cowboys this year and say, you know what, Jason Garrett wasn't that bad, was he? There was no 6-game-in revolt. Maybe that's what they'll say. Maybe they'll hire him. Maybe they'll ruin Justin Herbert's career.
Yeah. How the hell does this happen?
Whoa.
Jason Garrett leaves the
You
Cowboys.
just hit a home run, dude.
Jason Garrett leaves the Cowboys, doesn't do anything great up in New York.
Wait. That offense that he ran in the Giants organization was unbelievable this season.
I mean, that's all Dan Jones, though. That guy's running 25 miles per hour downfield.
He was joking. They were bad.
Yeah, I know.
No, but you started getting a little bit offended way too loud.
Well, I was going to defend Dan Jones forever.
Yeah, but you're getting way too loud.
Guy's faster than Lamar Jackson.
Let's go to Rocky in Oregon. What's going on, Rocky?
Hey, good morning, Pat and the boys. How are you all doing?
Hey, not too shabby. I mean, we're 40 minutes into this first hour, so there's really no end in sight, and we're just kind of just, what's that called? We're treading water at this point. Not a lot of sports to talk about, sports show. Just talking to great people like you from around the country. What do you want to talk about, Rocky? Stay away from the meth up there in Oregon.
Oh, dude, Oregon's a mess. Don't worry about it. I'm a farmer. I got my own property out here. I don't bother with anybody else.
Hey, what do you grow? What do you grow? What do you do?
Well, we Oregon, it's pretty wet up here, so we got plenty of Christmas trees. We got 200 acres of Christmas trees, Douglas firs, and then we
Seems like
board
it's dead
72
business.
horses.
No.
Rocky, the Christmas tree business
Yes.
still a good business? I literally just said, seems like a dead business. Ty looked me dead in my face and said, no, it is not. And Ty actually went and cut a tree.
I did. I bought a real one this year.
Rocky, is the Christmas tree business going down, or are you guys still moving those pines, pal?
Sir, Ty is correct. We are moving those trees every year. It's a mad dash. Oregon is primarily the #1 state that most of the country gets all their Christmas trees from. So between late October and up until Christmas, we got semi trucks hauling all over the state, out of the state, sending trees all across the country. So it's a good deal.
I appreciate you, Rocky. I don't fuck with him personally, but I do. I guess a lot of people do. Still, Ty's one of those old school.
Nice.
You water. You get your hand in there and water.
Oh, yeah.
You get stabbed in the arm. You water.
You know what? If you keep it watered, I mean, the needles aren't too bad. I mean, I guess it depends what you're getting.
If you're getting Rocky's pines,
nice balsam fir, so Douglas fir. Yeah, I mean,
lotion them needles.
See, by the way, this is a big Christmas tree show.
Yeah.
Huge. Okay, you want to get my thoughts on Christmas trees?
Yeah.
I'll let you know where they're coming from, who's cutting them, and how the business is doing. Stat. Just because a guy named Rocky in Oregon I talked to one time.
I don't want to ruin Rocky's business, but you could get some fake ones for great discounts right this time of the year.
Yeah, it's like 50% off everything must go right now.
Tony, you're cutting Rocky down at the knee.
No. It's very if you're
There's
a fake tree person, there's no way that what Diggs said there is going to change you into what Rocky said. We like Rocky, but there's zero chance I'm going to a real tree after I experience a fake one. But I like the fact that people do still experience the real trees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I respect it.
Yeah.
But I ain't got time to fucking step on those pines with my socks in the morning whenever I'm walking over to try to get something out of the kitchen. Stabbed in the goddamn
Dogs are drinking out of the tree bowl.
I don't have time for it.
I mean, keep the space nice then. If you got goddamn pine needles all over your house, but that's not going to happen with the tree.
That does happen.
What are you dragging the goddamn thing across the
Jay,
carpet coming
tell
in?
them, please, about our real Christmas tree in the middle of the goddamn living room. You couldn't get anywhere in the house without getting at least 3 stabs.
It was a very small house.
A tiny house, obviously, but the tree was always a glorious one. You know what I mean? Had the entire thing. But
Tim's cutting down a big old tree.
It was a third of our living room. So that's why.
That's pretty big.
And by the way, the living room was the connection between the bedrooms, which were at the end of the hall, and then the kitchen, and then obviously the outside is through the living room. So to get anywhere, you had to walk through this thing. Yeah. And I just got uppercutted by pine needles every single time I tried to go around the house. So maybe I had a bad experience. Nonetheless, never getting a real one ever again. But I'm happy that people still do because Rocky's doing a hell of a job up there.
Yeah.
You also get one of those sneaky pines, the needles where it sticks in your sock. but it doesn't get you until like 3 p.m. in the day when you're making a cut in gym class.
Yeah, bingo.
That's the word.
And then you roll like Tom Segura.
Oh man,
who we'll talk to in a third hour. Obviously, that's a transition right there.
Yeah. Well done. Nice little tease as
Take
well.
a trip back though, Nick. What's that?
We are going to take a trip back. Not to mention the army of cats and dogs you have that would rip that tree to shreds.
Yeah, you're right. Scootsy, 3-legged cat we have. Tell you what, she's a savage. She'd be on top of that pine quicker than that thing could get put into the goddamn thing you got to water every time.
No, in your house, you'd welcome the chipmunks in and stuff to live in the tree, too.
Well, the raccoons should get a little spot over there. It turns out they are not that gritty of animals. When it gets cold, they will hide out. Then they will show up when there's a little sign of warmth, and they will expect a lot of food. And then they go right back into hiding.
They don't hibernate? They don't hibernate?
Seems like they do, yeah. But I think it's just for like days at a time.
Not like bears.
For instance, months at a time. Grizzly Man, just walked in on a cave of hibernating bears and just tossed himself into somebody's mouth, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Welcome up. Hey, wake the fuck up.
I live here now.
Yeah, and recorded it, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wild.
He wanted to do hibernation. Yeah.
They wanted to rip his limbs off.
Hey,
both sides won.
Hey, can't poke the bear, dude.
No, you can't.
Cannot poke the bear.
Especially when he's been sleeping for a couple months.
Bingo. Chase Young. Yeah. We need to talk about it.
Yep.
So that is what we like to call a transition in the sports talk show world. Chase Young, okay, after walking off the field after getting a big W against the Philadelphia Eagles team. Yeah. Nate Sudfeld and the boys take an L to the Washington football team, and the Washington football team secures a playoff spot in a year that they should have never had success in. Nobody would have expected them to do anything, but here they are hosting a playoff game, Wild Card Weekend 2020 NFL season. Chase Young walking off the field to a camera. And by the way, I think what we've learned about Chase Young, if you watch any of his mic'd up, he is an excitable guy. Talks a lot, high energy guy, positive guy. Seems like the Washington football team got a dude for a long time that you can build around as well. It seems like he is that type of guy. He came out and said, I'm about business and I'm about ball. That's it. Nobody cares about anything else. It's like, all right, like this guy. Jogging off the field, he says to a camera, and I think it is the way he said what he said in the particular fashion that he said it, that it has caused quite a stir in the, did he just poke the bear conversation? He said, I am coming, Tom. And he said it numerous times. It was clipped, put all over social media. An immediate thought was, why would you do that? Why would you you're saying it as if Tom has never faced a player like you, which, by the way, it might come to find out here years down the road that Chase Young is right in what he's saying. But I think a lot of other people were like, why would you even do that to a guy who is spiteful? People have said that he does remember things that are said. Why would you even poke the bear? Why would you even want to do that? And Chase, since then, after the game, he was doing a press conference, and they asked him about it. And he said, I get excited to play against blah, blah, blah. They say he's one of the greats. Why wouldn't I get excited to play against him? Basically just talking about how he's excited to play Tom Brady and that whole thing. But the way he first said it coming off the field, whenever he was probably still in quite a state of emotion coming off of that game, the way he said it caused conversation. Now he doesn't. He said he's the GOAT. Obviously, he's decided to play him. Tom has come out and said, he's a fantastic young player and all that stuff. But I'll be excited because I don't know. What is Tom going to do? Run over Chase Young? I don't know exactly how this is going to potentially bite Chase Young in the ass, but I assume there will be a way for us to find out, and that comes whenever Tampa travels to Washington, and I think Tampa gets a big dub strictly because of that comment. I think Tom Brady takes over the entire franchise this week, and it's playoff week, and he just goes to work. That's how I feel, but maybe Chase Young gets 7 sacks, a couple of strips, takes it to the house. Also possible without Chase Young plays football.
I love the Washington football team going into this week, getting the win and the big upset. After this, though, I mean, Brady's going to eviscerate these boys.
Why is it? So why is that, though? Because
D-line, comeback player of the year, Ron Rivera, all the storylines that the football team had, the building burning down, and them somehow winning the division. And now Brady's literally going to burn that building down. He's probably going to throw for 505 scores.
We got a chance to see in The Last Dance how Michael Jordan figured out ways to be offended by things. Mm-hmm. I don't think we've ever seen a Tom Brady Last Dance. We saw Tom versus Time with him at the crib and all that stuff and the avocado ice cream, and we've seen all that stuff. I would assume those uber competitive individuals, the people who are 40, how old is he? 43 years old, still sprinting out of a tunnel and screaming to a group of people, let's fucking go. And then yelling at refs and stuff at 43, still putting on the pads, still wanting to be. I would assume those uber competitive people are pretty like-minded individual. That I am coming, Tom, is just like,
Oh, are you?
Who the fuck is?
Do you know who?
I took that personally.
I'm the baddest.
And I'm the baddest motherfucker on the planet. That was a quote that was allegedly leaked, a couple years ago.
It was the Kansas City AFC Championship, the last one the Patriots actually won.
That an equipment manager or something came out and said that Tom Brady came in the locker room and said, I'm the baddest motherfucker on planet Earth or something like that. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if he said that. I don't know anything about the man. I know he makes great sunglasses with the boys over at Clues. But I will say, I do feel like he potentially poked the bear a little bit, like the Grizzly man did when he walked into that hibernating cave and fucking got eaten up.
Do we know what the weather's supposed to be like in Washington?
Have it pulled up.
I'm just thinking that's like maybe the only way.
30
if it's really bad and
mostly
sloppy.
cloudy.
Okay, so yeah, they're going to beat the piss out of the Washington.
Tom could pull a sunshine where he tells the left tackle to let Chase Young through.
Oh, and does the
flips him.
First play, let him through. What?
Mike Evans back too. He's healthy enough to go. They're screwed. Football team.
Washington can't score.
They have played very, very good football lately. Very, very, very good football.
Both sides.
I mean, they if you watch them for the defense, the last game, I guess, but it's been the defense started hot, kind of got cold, heating back up a little bit. That all revolves around getting pressure on the quarterback. If they can get pressure on the quarterback, which I don't think the Washington football team's line is the best. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but I don't think you hear a lot of people going, you know what? That Washington football team is an offensive line you'd like to have. I don't think that is something that's said by a lot of people.
They're number 26 in preventing sacks.
Yeah, so if you get pressure, that defense, the rest of the defense is good because Todd Bowles' defense is predicated on getting pressure on the quarterback. So the defense is going to do well. Let's assume the offense will figure it out at some point. They've been very hot, like the last 5 quarters probably, which is the perfect time to get hot at. I don't know. It feels like this is a big win by Tampa, a statement win by Tampa, and we're going to be talking very differently, I think, about the Buccaneers next week, I think, after this week.
Yeah, I want to bet on the Washington football team at, if they're getting 7.5, but I could see the Patriots winning by, I could see Tampa winning by 21, 24 points.
By the way, if the Patriots were down there in Tampa, we could see them win too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Tom Brady quarterback, see them probably win.
Right.
Isn't it interesting, though, that Tom Brady's greatest gift is his competitive edge? And his competitive edge allows him to get coached hard. His competitive edge has him using every single ounce of his life to commit to being the best footballer. His competitive edge is everything. So if that gets called into question at all by somebody or shit is talked at all, you would assume that is inevitably going to boost some things. I just don't know. Isn't it crazy that that's how we're talking about this?
Yeah.
But a lot of people are talking about it strictly because there's not a lot of humans that are like Tom Brady. The Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality. There's only a couple people that have that upper echelon of competitive edge, and they all seem to take shit personally. So even that coming, Aaron.
Right? Yeah.
Aaron.
Right.
There's things that are said that he hears, and he does this whole season.
This whole year.
This whole season, basically. So, I believe that's why it is such a big conversation, what Chase said. And I would assume that's why Washington has him talking a lot in the fashion that he's the GOAT. I'm excited to play. He's the GOAT. I'm excited to play. Because Chase Young, by the way, might be one of those dudes when it's all said and done. He is unbelievable at football.
And all everyone's saying is Washington has a team with that D-line. It's you don't think Brady knows that they have a good D-line and that he might have to get the ball out a little quicker this week? He knows what he has to do, and he's going to do it.
Do you know that against the Giants in that Super Bowl, you guys lost?
Oh! That was right here in Indianapolis, dude. Right down the road.
That sucks.
Bet it did.
He was so close to catching that tip
So
ball. If he
close.
wasn't hurt, Rob.
Man. So close.
That last Hail Mary. One of the biggest plays in NFL history. Probably number 2 play all the time. Maybe number 1 play all the time if that hits to win a Super Bowl.
Maybe. And if Brady caught that pass against the Eagles, that's probably one of the all-time plays in Super Bowl.
You know what
history.
Cam Newton has done this year is catch the ball.
He did catch
right.
And that's been the difference between him and Tom.
I saw some fucking stooges on the internet talking like that. I got good pop. I did the whole Michael Jordan gif looking down. I love these people. Let's go to Luke in Cleveland. Luke, what's going on?
It is going to get him $20 million.
How's it going, fellas?
2025. Great. How are you?
I'm solid. So I had a question about kicking. So I'm a high school football coach.
Here we
I'm
go.
a student, but coach. And our kicker has a booming leg. Can hit from 55 plus in games. But when he kicks from the hash, all shit breaks loose. What does that mean? What do you think of that?
I have no idea. I don't think I've ever heard that because every ball should just be a straight kick anyways. You should just tell him that. Have him pick a tiny little target in the back, and if he's just kicking the ball to that target every single kick, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a mental thing because, like, it's anything not from the hash. It's perfect. It's straight. It's consistent. As soon as he gets the hash, he just breaks out.
How old is he?
18. I'm 18.
You're a coach and a student. Good for you, a little like student coach or whatever.
Awesome.
If he's
Yeah,
18, how many years has he been kicking?
I think his whole life he's always been a kicker. That's his thing.
Well, he needs to figure it out.
You should probably just tell him.
What's that?
You should just tell him.
If he's kicking 55 yards, though, he should stick around. That's a big leg. You can't teach a big leg. Like, hey, you can't teach a big leg. But is it possible to teach somebody that hasn't been able to get over a fear of kicking at an angle? I don't know if he can. He should be aiming small, missing small. Every kick, you should be trying to hit a tiny little pinpoint. You shouldn't be trying to hit through the uprights anyway. So it doesn't matter where you're at. Now, granted, I missed a lot of kicks from hash marks. So I don't know if I'm the right guy to be talking to you either. But it shouldn't matter where you're at. It's always a straight kick.
Simple geometry.
Yeah. Put the ball through the uprights.
Has this kid been taught the Pythagorean theorem?
You're such a meathead, dude.
Put him through.
You got one job, dude.
Put him through, damn it.
No, but the theory is the way you should view it is every kick you're kicking a straight ball. Obviously, just you're aiming at different targets. You know.
Mm-hmm. Like, why guys do the extra point on the hashes?
Might be their best ball.
Yeah.
Their ball might drift a little bit. Or maybe wind. You'll see some wind. Like Tucker. Tucker will move like right center. You can tell easily what he thinks about the wind because you can't always tell with the flags on the post because there's wind different in every spot. But if you see where Tucker lines up an extra point, right to center, left to center, you can tell where the wind's going quickly, that type of shit. Yeah. It allows you to make mistakes. Vinatieri always went from the middle. And then there was one week where it was like kind of hitting a draw a little bit. We went to the right hash. It was like, we adjust a little bit here.
Whoa.
Hour one wrapping up. We'll see you on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show. If something happens one time, anomaly. Happens 2 times, it's like, okay, maybe. But whenever there's a trend of 18 plus, 20 plus things being predicted, you got to go like, hey, Groening, the gig's up. We know. You're a time traveler.
Just tell us.
Bro, I just want to talk to you. I got so many questions. Siegfried and Roy tiger attack. Do you remember that?
Of course.
Do you remember back in the day how tight Siegfried and Roy were with their tigers? It was like every main story was like, these tigers are the best behaved animals on earth, blah, blah, blah. Simpsons in 1993 said the tiger is going to turn. This little friendly tiger is going to become an enemy of Siegfried and Roy quickly, and it's going to happen. 2003, it actually happened. Autocorrect errors, 1994. Before you could even play Snake on the gray little box phone, they predicted that autocorrect will happen on your phone. Are you kidding me? Didn't happen until 2007. FaceTime, 1995. Not even a thought. I don't even know if anybody knew what the fuck the internet was.
Oh, that's that little mark with the A and then the ring around it. At. See, that's what I said.
Mm-hmm. No.
What is internet anyway?
In 1995, they said, don't worry, you'll be carrying around a device where you will be face-to-face with somebody on the opposite side of Earth. 1995, they said that. 2010, it happened. Faulty voter machines. 2008, they predicted it. 2012, it became the forefront of conversation in a big, big way. I assume these voter machines have been up in question for a long, long time, but they just knew that it was going to come to fruition in 2012.
No, I want to vote for Obama.
2 votes for McCain.
Come on, it's time for a change.
3 votes for McCain.
The God particle. Now, this is the big one. Ty Schmidt did research. He said the God particle is the absolute reason why he is 1,000% a time traveler. Homer Simpson got up there like fucking Matt Damon in that movie where they have that
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, and draws up this equation for what the God particle is, what is the God particle?
Yeah, it's basically this equation that essentially like explains how the universe was created.
And they did that in 1998, and the exact equation happens in 2012.
That's unheard of.
14 years ahead of time. They got Homer Simpson up there looking like that goddamn janitor from Harvard, solving equations up on a chalkboard, and 14 years later, it's like, yeah, that's actually how the universe was founded. It's like, wait a fucking minute, little comedy writer with the goddamn yellow cartoon, bro. That's insane. The NSA spying scandal. Everybody knew that the Patriot Act was like in existence, but nobody had a clue that NSA literally knows everything about you. Every dick you've sent has been seen by some government agency, but it wasn't always like that. We didn't know that everything was getting spied on, Sean. Nobody knew that.
I didn't know.
They predicted that in 2007, 2013 it happened.
No, Lisa, it's not like the government is listening to everybody's conversation.
Smartwatches, 1995, they said it would happen. 2014, they came to fruition. America's Ebola outbreak, 1997, they said it. 2014. Do you remember when Ebola hit? It was like, it was literally...
Hospitals like shutting down.
Oh, they had people wearing like hazmat suits, carrying people around because they were scared Ebola was possible. In the modern world, this was happening. Years and years and years and years ago, Matt Groening said this is going to happen. The FIFA corruption scandal, 2014, they called it. 2015, it came all crashing down. Everybody knew they were getting their pockets greased, making decisions, sending a World Cup to a goddamn desert. Matt Groening said it's going to happen. It happened. Greece's debt default, 2012, they called it. 2015, it happened. So many countries out there, by the way.
They picked Greece?
The exact country to happen. Trump's presidency, 2000, they called it. 2016, it came to fruition. The Simpsons called this. President Trump out there, and everybody probably looked at, those Simpsons guys are so funny. Bang, 16 years later, it is about to happen. It goes down. Lady Gaga Super Bowl halftime show, 2012, they called it. 2017. I mean, I think we all knew that she was born this way. She would probably get the halftime show at some point, but to the details that they had. These are not coincidences. Coincidenci. I don't know how you pronounce it.
How the fuck do they know this stuff?
It's
got to be time traveler.
Matt Groening is a time traveler. I have so many fucking questions. Disney's takeover of Fox, 1998, they said it. 2017, it happens. The Shard in London, which is a building behind Big Ben, I guess. Is that right?
Apparently, that's what Google search said.
1995, 2009, it comes to fruition. Robot librarians, 95, they called it. 2016, it happens. The censorship of Michelangelo's David, 1990, 2016, it happened. Three-eyed fish from the fucking nuclear waste place.
In Japan.
Three-eyed fish comes to fruition in 2001. Matt Groening did it in 1990. 9/11. 9/11. They called that happening. If you do recall, planes going into buildings, they said it in 1997, 2001, it happens. The Syrian uprising, everything that's going on in the Middle East has all been talked about on The Simpsons. And then he created another show called Futurama. That is huge. He created another show like, listen, here's me rubbing it in the face that's where I could go if I have to. I have so many questions for Matt Groening, and guess what, Matt Groening? The gig's up. We know. I'm all in on you, Matt. And I'm a fan, by the way, aren't we? We're big fans. I'm
a huge fan.
If you want to travel to future me or current me or past me and say what's up, I think we would all be appreciated.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Hour 2 on this Thursday, January 7th, 2021. We'll begin immediately after this Twine beat drop that comes right now. Welcome back to the show. Ian Rapoport will be joining us in about 22 minutes. Diggs has his finger up. Do you have breaking news?
No, I was just doing the beat drop.
Oh, okay.
I left it up there.
Yeah, you kind of got locked in there. Ian Rapoport will join us in about 22 minutes. And Tom Segura will join us in 1 hour to talk about all things happening in his life, including rehabbing from one of the most gruesome injuries I've ever seen in my entire life while playing some basketball about a month ago. All the boys are here at Tone Diggs, Boston Connor, Ty Schmidt, Evan Foxy, Nick, and everybody is in the back. I hope everybody Everybody's doing fantastic today. The world needs a little positivity. We hope to do so. A little mental vacation, escape from all the bullshits. In hour one, we tried to cover everything happening in the sports world. We talked about Deshaun Watson requesting a trade or broaching the subject with his teammates about potentially asking for a trade out of Houston. Houston Texans just hired a guy named
Nick Caserio.
Caserio. Paisan.
Oh, yeah.
He
Strong jawline.
Nicky.
very strong, and he throws the ball well. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
There's some pictures of him throwing the rock in front of Tom Brady in warm-ups of games because he threw, I assume, some balls to wide receivers, so Tom didn't have to throw it. Great arm. It looked like he threw the ball very well. He was a graduate assistant, I think, down there. He was an assistant, and he moved all the way up to director of player personnel. Sat next to old Ernie up there in the thing during games. So who knows what all he knows. He signs for a 6-year, $30 million deal down at the Texans organization. Now, today, it's come out that Deshaun Watson, who just signed a very lucrative deal a year ago, I believe, is going to potentially ask for a trade because it feels as if the Texans are years away from being able to accomplish what they accomplished just 1 year ago, which is make the playoffs and potentially go on a run. But who knows how this whole thing's going to pan out. If you're Caserio, would your first move be trading away your best player? That'd be a question that old Caserio will have to find out because they have no draft capital. I would assume Deshaun Watson would demand a lot of draft capital if you were to trade him away, and also salary cap rooms, especially probably going to cut J.J. Watt and save $17 million as well. A lot of eyes down on Houston this offseason. A lot of eyes on Carson Wentz in Philadelphia. A lot of eyes in Atlanta now with Julio Jones and Matt Ryan, who is owed $100 million over the next 3 years. They are also on the trading block. We talked about all those things. What did we miss?
We missed that, just classic good guy in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Came back to play this year for his city, Drew Brees.
Oh, I forgot about this. This was big news because Drew Brees was asked, I assume, in an interview what this year has meant to him or whatever, and he said that he didn't do this for himself. He did not do this for any records. He did not do this because of Drew Brees. He did this for the organization and for the city. This is being reported by @Nick_Underhill, blue check mark. Brees says he didn't come back for himself this season. Says he came back for the city and the organization.
Wow.
That's why I'm here.
Man.
Fucking right, Drew. Go, Drew.
Such a good guy.
Drew put an entire city right on his back. Now, Drew Brees saw Teddy Bridgewater go 5-0 last year. And Drew Brees said, although those wins were fantastic, this city, this team, this organization needs me at the helm for at least another year. That's why I'm going back. Ty Schmidt, noted Drew Brees fan. How do you feel about that?
No, I'm
What's
not.
that? Noted Drew Brees fan.
He's a great football player. All right, everyone knows that. He's a self-serving asshole. I mean,
why are you so? Whoa!
Is he playing for free?
No, he is
playing for free.
Well, he's obviously getting money in the checks don't bounce. But I feel like Drew has done a lot for philanthropy.
Oh, sure he
He's
has.
done a lot for his community. He's done a lot for New Orleans.
Smoothie King.
So whenever you say that, you piss some people off because you act as if he is just a terrible. You
I'm
just don't
not
like
acting
him
like that.
because he shit.
Oh no!
Just spilled green tea on the goddamn
we need
laptop. Rice, get me the rice.
We need a paper towel.
I just spilled my green tea onto the laptop with the elbow that Drew Brees gave Ty on his way out of the Super Bowl media room.
Drove it into my back, basically permanently ruined my posture. My back hasn't been the same since. It hurts so damn bad all
You
the
probably
time.
get some money for that, man.
Oh, I could, but I'm not going to do that.
He did not come. But next day, he should have came in.
I should have. And if we could have found a neck brace, you bet your ass I would have. But I'm not so sure he didn't just realize that, actually, Taysom Hill might stink at quarterback. So maybe I just need to come back in because he doesn't want Jimmy Winston getting the job. I don't think he wants to handpick someone, some guy that's been in his room before. So I don't know. I mean, you can just tell by watching Drew Brees, there's not a whole lot left in the tank. So
Jesus, I mean wow. Saints are in the playoffs yet again.
Yeah, but I'm saying compared to what he's used to, what you're used to seeing from him, how you're used to seeing him play. I mean, if the guy, if he gets hit, you worry about, every single one of his ribs breaking. So I'm not surprised he's retiring, but no, I'm not a Drew Brees fan. He's a great football player, though.
I asked for rice, but
he did.
We got rice.
No, there's no way.
Mitt, those are towels, Mitt.
No, this is good, Mitt.
It's amazing his cleats are big enough to put all his records on at this point.
See, that is something that he did. Whenever you start looking through the eyes of somebody, because I like Drew Brees. I got a chance to meet Drew Brees at the Pro Bowl. He was like Captain Pro Bowl, nice to everybody, was going all out at every event. You know what I mean? Like,
good guy.
And if anybody in this room has a reason to hate him, it's you.
Bingo, with him and his baby at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Remember, the last thing I saw before walking into the most miserable room I've ever been in my entire... Been in a lot of rooms. By the way, I've made a lot of people miserable. But the most miserable room I've ever walked into in my life was that Super Bowl locker room after we lost to the Saints or whatever. It was the people that are normally jovial, completely silent, quiet. It was just the most miserable place. And I'm a rookie or whatever, and we won undefeated until we chose to lose in the 15th game and 16th game. And then we get to the Super Bowl. We have the lead at halftime. I'm like 22 years old. Had no idea how to punt 1 year before that. Was watching the Super Bowl the year before in the city of Pittsburgh, but in a town, Oakland, which is within Pittsburgh. And then when the Steelers won the Super Bowl, I was walking around the city of Pittsburgh with fires everywhere, and there was booze being dumped down people's mouths everywhere. And then 1 year later, I'm kicking off said Super Bowl, and in the third quarter, we have the lead in the Super Bowl. And I'm like, well, this is the dumbest life of all time. Then automatically, quick curveball, we lose.
Yeah.
Okay, we end up losing. It all happened very fast. I mean, it was a pum, 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 pum. It's over, this whole thing. And then I look up on the Jumbotron as I'm walking out of there. You got Drew Brees and his baby up there, confetti falling. They're the happiest they've ever been. Guys are sprinting on the field after a game, celebrating and everything like that. And then I walk into a room, it's the worst place I've ever seen in my entire life. So some could say that I could hold on to the Drew Brees and his baby image and maybe just hold that against him, because that could potentially be a trigger that when you see that misery.
Yeah.
But instead, I became a Drew Brees fan because I got a chance to meet him, and he was very nice to me and very good at football. But then whenever you start looking through the eyes of somebody that does not like him, though, you can start to see like, oh, okay. So like that answer is an answer that the people that don't like him would certainly hate. And lo and behold, I found out this morning, it is certainly a statement that the people that don't like him hate.
Well, and listen, I mean, like you said, the one time I met him, he wasn't very nice to me, So
the first impression can change everything.
It can, exactly. Guess what? Maybe down the road at some point, we shake hands and I no longer have an axe to grind. But until that happens, guess what? I'm fucking sharpening that thing on a whetstone every single night. So, I mean.
He gets a lot of tweets from Drew Brees fans, by the way. I see him.
I do.
And I feel like you just love him. I think you're just like, come on, bring him on in.
Let me know.
Well, it's not like I'm thinking about him all the time. It's just you hear stuff like this. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you did it for the city, but while patting yourself on the back at the same time. I get it, dude. Good for you.
And a lot of money, $25 million.
Yeah,
Patting himself on the back with a big bag.
Backpack.
Yeah.
With the backpack.
Yeah, with a massive one.
But times 10. Yeah, that's the big old backpack there. Yeah, it's interesting. What a life, though, for Drew Brees doing that. It's very nice of him. He's going to TV next year, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's probably going to be Sunday Night Football.
I think he's got Notre Dame
games.
Notre Dame.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, Flutie was in there, right? And then Dungy was in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do they change that? Is that like a rotation, or are they trying to find a group, you
I think
think?
they're trying to find a group. Or
nobody ever talks about that, by the way.
or
Everybody
it's a
talks
J-
about Monday Night Football moving and everything like that. That Notre Dame thing has turned over.
I think it's a JV for when you get them bumped up to Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, but Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth have not lost their fastball.
No.
If anything, it's actually gotten faster, and they've lost the filters.
Which the best.
The best, because the NFL is coming after her, allegedly. I think they put out that statement to say, like, we'll have a talk with them to potentially, as a message to the other networks. Because the other networks probably listen to that and go like, well, if we say that, we're going to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they potentially did that for the other networks.
Set an example.
Yeah, but I think like CBS, NBC, Fox. And Fox and CBS have a plethora of crews, right?
Yes.
You get to experience them once a week maybe or once a season. Some people, sometimes you get 2-3 of the same group or whatever, but there's a plethora of groups. With NBC, there's only that one group, right?
Yep.
So I feel like that they probably have a different relationship with the NFL than everybody else. And also the game that they're calling is much bigger than everybody else's game, basically.
How many more seasons does Al have? Because I feel like this year they kind of, I don't know if it was just because of COVID, but it seemed like they kind of started he missed.
Didn't they do that last year, though, too? I feel like Tirico had a couple games last year as well.
I think he did, but I feel like this year it was like several weeks in a row, where you could just tell that, he wasn't around. Like, I didn't know if he was going to continue to do it.
He's 76 now, so I don't know how much longer he's going to be doing it.
Legend, dude. The absolute legend.
He enjoys that restaurant, Toscano's. We all know.
Oh, yeah.
Spend his
Lombardi told
weeknights
us
there.
about
Sunday
Toscano's 4 or 5 nights a week down there. Must have a great view.
Yeah.
Because when you get 76 and you live on the beach in California, you just stare, right? A lot of staring.
Oh, yeah. A lot of wine drinking, probably.
Looking. They golf, 76-year-olds?
Oh, yeah. I bet.
for sure.
It's like when they're hitting their
Oh,
prime.
the senior tees.
I mean, I'm never going to make it to 76. Would be cool. But if I make it to 76 and I'm, a quarter of what Al Michaels is on a microphone, I would be pretty pumped up about it. The guy never misses a beat.
Still very, love watching him.
Smooth, too. Smooth, has a personality, too. He's been there, done that with everything. Could be an egotistical prick. He's not. And he was very nice to me on the field. We had a Sunday night football game, and he was walking across, and he came and talked to Vinatieri, obviously, and he complimented me or something like that. And I was like, oh, you're a legend. And I think I told a ridiculous joke to him about how I was told at one point in my life that I was potentially conceived while Sunday night football was on, which you were probably calling at the time. So thank you for what you were doing for what you did to my parents. And I said to him, and he started dying laughing. He said, never been told that before? And I shook my hand and walked off. Like, he was like super cool about it. And I think Vinatieri goes like, what happened there? And I was like, to be honest, I've never been told that, but I felt like it would get a little pop out of Michaels.
It did.
And it did. It did. I had to read the room a little bit, and it did. But I think I was just being nice. I don't even think he heard what I was saying, probably. He was super nice, though. Seemed genuine. Guy calls a hell of a game. And then this last week, they were not happy about what was going on in Philadelphia.
Oh, no.
I'm fucking doing this bullshit. Called the Miracle on Ice 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Now I gotta do this bullshit.
I love when they
Sudfeld?
I love when they call it how it is.
Yeah, me too. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, by the way.
It should be like that across the board.
That's how it should be, yeah. Because I'll tell you what, when somebody isn't, you can really tell. And boy, it is hard not to just. Some of these commentators, and I understand that it's not their fault they're put in those positions, but some of them I think should have enough self-awareness to know they're not supposed to be there. Like, there's things I've done, like, for instance, commentating. I thought that was like dream destination for me to be able to do that whole thing. But after a response I've got, I've had to look in the mirror and say, maybe not yet. Maybe it's not the thing for me, because there is a large portion of humans who still don't fuck with the way I operate, right? So maybe not yet for me. Okay, so that's a little self-awareness. Like, maybe if I go in there, we'll do some things differently, or I will just be older and more people know who I am at that point, so it'll be like more accepted with how I operate or whatever, But there seems to be no self-awareness from some of those commentators in there. They turn it up sometimes, like from one week to another. And they must not use social media ever, which more power to them. If you can go about life without being so on social, good for you. For me, if my mentions were what some people's are on Twitter, I wouldn't be able to operate. So I appreciate how mentally tough some of these commentators are, but there seems to be something where they're like, no, this is what I think I should be doing, and it's just not great. And it's not just color commentators, but there's play-by-play too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a whole thing, but they're just trying to do their best. Maybe we should be a little bit softer on them.
I just don't like the ones that feel like they aren't allowed to say anything bad or criticize any part of anyone's game.
Refs too.
Yes.
People that just act as if now, granted, I don't think you should make a big deal, but I feel like sometimes there's things that are danced over, and it's like, will you please just say, like, that was a terrible call. You have no idea how that person got there, but here we are. There's nothing we can do about it. Let's move on. Like, that has to be addressed, I think, So that's why whenever I heard that the NFL was going to talk to Collinsworth and Allen, I was almost bummed about it. I was like, no, don't make them don't.
Tell them they're doing a good job.
Yeah, tell them, like, hey, we need more of that.
Yeah.
Maybe send the game tape over elsewhere. Say, hey, you guys see Nate Sudfeld? And by the way, Nate Sudfeld, good player.
Great
player. He's going to have a chance.
He did have a chance.
He's going to have another.
No, but he had a chance.
Before on Sunday, you mean?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He had played before.
He did. He had a game in 2017 or something.
Which is an interesting little stat line that nobody knew about or was mentioned during the entire wave that was that entire. It was Doug Peterson disrespecting the entire game. It's like, well, he has played before, so his entire thing of we want to see if he could play or something like that. Which, by the way, he's probably grown since then. He's on the team, everything like that. But Nate Sudfeld's name is now synonymous with the team tanking him going in there. It's not a good place to be. Nate doesn't deserve that. And I would like to let Nate know if he hears this. I know that you could beat the shit out of 99.9999% of people that are watching football at football. Yeah. Okay, we know you're good. But your name is directly synonymous with a potential NFL investigation from Sal Palantonio about tanking on national television. Yeah. That's a tough thing to have. Nate doesn't deserve that.
No. Good luck in finance, man.
Dude, come on, dude.
Sorry. Look, I'm sorry. But unless every single team is giving Cam Newton deals out.
You're going to say that with that vest on?
Sudfeld. Maybe he will be third string New England. But I mean,
Third.
You're a
Who's in front of
scumbag,
him?
dude.
What?
Yeah, both that
No,
table.
I thought we were talking. We're talking about calling it like it is.
Nate
What's
Sechfeld.
going on?
We're talking about commentators.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, we might as well take a page out of the calling it like it is book and say, oh, maybe it's a cramp. No, he stinks at football.
I mean, James Harden's averaging 29-11. He stinks at basketball.
Yeah, you're
Never said he stinks. I just say he's doing no favors to get himself traded out of Houston.
Let's go to Paul in New York. Paul, what's going on, dude?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How everybody doing?
Hey, not too shabby. Paul, what do you want to talk about?
Pat, I am calling live from the 315, home of the campus of Syracuse University, home of Pat McAfee's collegiate career, where the West Virginia Mountaineers came in and fucking beat the Orange.
Yeah, first game of my
I'm
career.
up here and it's fucking cold.
First game of my career, national television kickoff game, ESPN ABC. I'm sorry, noon. First game ever. Nice. Yeah, first kick, 47-yarder to end the half. Cleared the uprights, but it was right.
Oh.
But I fucking murdered that.
Smoked it.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Halftime, told the boys I was apologizing. Second half, I think, came out, made a couple kicks. We beat the hell out of them, yeah. That place was loud, though, back then. It was loud back then. I think that might have been the last time, really, that Syracuse was in real conversation for football.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, a couple years ago. They had 10 wins 2 years ago.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but real conversation.
Well, sorry. It didn't make its way into my conversations, and I apologize for that. I need to be better. Who was the quarterback a couple years ago?
Greg Paulus, probably.
The fucking point guard from Duke, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Eric Dungy.
All right.
Excuse me?
Yeah, exactly.
Who the hell's that?
Yeah, listen, 10 wins. Have a little respect for Eric Dunge. What do you want to talk about, Paul?
Hey, 2 things. You talking about being cold. Do you think maybe your dog doesn't shit because he doesn't want you to go outside in the cold pick it up?
Smart.
I'm convinced that's what my dog does. Maybe
Pick it
your
up.
dog
I'm
just
not
loves
picking it up. It's my fucking yard. I'm not. Do you pick up your dog's poop in the front yard?
Yeah, you don't just leave it.
Oh, you don't. You just fucking scrape that in right into the woods, dude. What are we even? You're picking up all your dog's poop, Paul. You're working for your dog right now, Paul.
Fertilizer.
I wish I had woods to do that.
Yeah, you know, not all of us live on a 40-acre estate surrounded by woods. We can dump our dog poop in everyone else's yards.
Whose problem's that?
You guys should. Okay, it's a good time. All right?
That'd be cool. It would be sweet.
It's not that great, actually, by the way. You get no service, okay? There are some drawbacks. And you only use, by the way, for those, I grew up in a very small house. We learned about it earlier. Very, very small. This is not like a woe is me thing, but my dream was always to have a massive home, okay? That's what I'm going to get, a massive fucking home that I saw in Cribs. That's what I'm going to do. I found one in Indianapolis, bought it with cash, okay? I've moved in. I used 3 fucking rooms. It is the biggest waste of space I've ever seen in my entire life. Do not do it. There's no reason to have the house that I have. I have no service, no Wi-Fi, but it is a fucking monster, and I like looking at it every once in a while. So that's how I feel. But when my dog shits, I will just scrape it right into the fucking woods.
Yeah. Get
See
it
you
out.
later. How you doing?
It's good food for the deer.
And the raccoons and the fox and the squirrels that are now 300 pounds because they have entered the Rolodex of things getting fed now.
Oh, nice. Possum, right?
The possum, there's 2 of them, which, by the way, the only marsupial in North America, and they
Watch
chew
out
with
for those things.
they chew with their mouths open.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
They play dead very well, too.
Yeah, be careful.
It's not a pet. Let's get to a break, dude.
Feed one of those things a shotgun.
Jeez.
You know? You're going to run out of food. I mean, I'm looking out for your grocery bill.
Stop. Don't say that.
All right.
You don't even know the buzzsaw you just started.
What do you mean?
Because now it's going to be like, do you agree with Connor with what he said about our possums, raccoons, our squirrels, and everything? I'm
No,
like,
you don't.
Nobody agrees with Connor on anything.
Yeah. No, you don't. But if you go on vacation, I can go over there and just,
No.
it'll be quick.
No.
I won't even know a thing.
You'll never know. Possum
Bro.
just went away.
Bro,
But the possum heaven.
we got to get to a break ASAP. Do you know what my life would be like? Would that make you feel good? What my life would be like?
No.
Every night when the sun went down and got dark and no raccoons or possums showed up, do you know what my life would be like? And then there's you like, yeah, well, I took care. Possum heaven.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? They migrated south.
Yeah. No, they did not. I know
6
more.
feet under.
Oh, jeez. It's the Pat McAfee Show. Ian Rapoport joins us on the other side. This show stinks, dude. Thursday, January 7th, 2021. Rap sheet will hopefully save this thing. You got 4 minutes. Good luck out there.
M-I-K-A-E-S-O
lucky to be here at the Northrop Hall with the incredible Trojan crowd. College Game Day is having a blast here. Minnesota has shown up. Row the boat, Sky U-Mall, go Gophers. Let's get the axe and keep that thing in Minneapolis, Minnesota!
The place is about to lose their minds. Ladies and gentlemen, watch a man maestro a crowd like Coach Lee Corso.
Watch, now he'll say to me, works every time, what?
Every time. You just can't dog pee on a field. This obviously led to a nightmare situation for Luke Logan, who misses the extra point. An absolute pandemonium happened. But in Dwayne Haskins' defense, the Redskins and Dwayne Haskins might never win a game again. That guy's flexing like DJ Fleck a little bit. Good sells a little bit delayed. Great got me the throw. Throw the flag. Sell your soul. Who hates Iowa? A lot of hate here in Minnesota, Maria. Hey, you look good, pal. For me, right after we leave this octagon, I'm going to Lake Minnetonka. I'm pulling a swordfish out of there. Then I'm going to stop by Paisley Park. I'm going to pay my respects to Prince in the Purple Rain. Then I'm going to walk into TCF Bank Stadium, and I'm going to say, L-I-A-B-S-O-T-A.
Dance with me. Dance with me.
I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Oh,
yes! Needed it.
I thought so. If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you that running a business is tough. Well, you might be actually, we got a guest. I should get to that. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who once trimmed the bushes so the tree could stand taller. Mm-hmm. A man who once broke news about half a second after exiting our show. A man that gave us one of the best moments we've had on this show. Ladies and gentlemen, insider at the NFL, also host of Rap Sheet and Friends, Mr. Rap Sheet himself, Ian Rapoport.
Yeah!
How's it going, Ian?
What's up?
How you guys doing?
Hey, not too shabby. I was going to read an ad there, but I didn't want to waste your time. So I want to let you know that.
Appreciate it.
Well, because we appreciate you. We know that your time is obviously very limited, especially when there's a lot of transactions potentially happening. What's going on today? Is anybody getting hired today, fired today, traded today? Do you get a lean or a feel on how the day is going to go when you wake up, or do things just drop out of the sky?
There are sometimes I get a feel like today's Thursday. So Tuesday, I basically had a text at like 9 a.m. that was like, pretty sure Casario's getting hired in Houston. Hasn't happened yet, but he's there, so stay on it. And I was like, oh my God, okay. And I kind of at that point wasn't aware that he was going to be in person. So basically I was like, all right, whatever I do during the day, I got to make sure to stay on it. And we ended up breaking it, but it took like, 9 o'clock at night or something. But that day I kind of knew. As of right now, I don't think anything crazy is happening. But like the last time we talked to you with the Haskins thing, I had a feeling that it was either going to be he was going to be on the team the rest of the year and they trade him, or he was done. And obviously the answer was he was done. So I kind of had a feeling then too.
Well, we also, I don't know, we went through like a series of things it could have been. It was also on our radar of things that you could have broke. I don't know if you saw the video, but we're very
funny.
Yeah, thank you. That was old Boston stooge over here. But, there was a report that came out just a couple days ago that a coach said you texted him to tell him he was going to get fired or whatever, and he was thankful the way you handled that. Who was that, and how often does it happen?
Yeah, that was Doug Marrone. He said it actually at his press conference, which was kind of interesting. I was not expecting him to go public with that. It was not something that's happened before, but I would say 2 or 3 years ago, I basically was like there will be times when I'll report negative news. I mean, plenty of times, right? And people get upset about it, or they don't want it out there, or sometimes it just makes people upset. And so what I would do is I would put it out there and then just deal with the backlash. At some point, a couple of years back, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So before I reported bad news, I started telling the people involved what I was going to report. And what I got was a much better version of the report, either much more balanced or people just appreciated the heads up. So when I'm sure, and obviously Saturday, I knew Gase was getting fired. I knew Marrone was getting fired. So I reached out to them. And I was like, hey, look, here's what I'm hearing. I got good sources. I'm not going to report it for a couple hours. So if you need to tell anyone, tell your family, please do that. I just want to give you a heads up. And I think, it's not fun. Obviously I dreaded those phone calls, but I think it's,
so those aren't text messages. Those are phone calls.
Gase was a phone call. Marrone was a call, and then he texted back, I'm in a meeting, what's up? And then
gotcha.
Yeah, we texted.
So what happened? You were sick. You felt like a scumbag whenever you would do that? Because people would just start to hate you because you're the bearer of bad news? Is that why you changed?
Yeah, I mean, I felt crappy. And also, reality is when you're going to report something real negative, and I mean, firing a coach is a good example, or someone suspended, or someone's getting cut, whatever it is, besides just feeling terrible about it, I don't always have the full story. And so when before I report something, especially if, sometimes it's like bang, bang, and you kind of got to go as fast as you can. If I have time to report it, let's say I'm reporting it on a Sunday morning or something, usually I have some time. I get a more balanced version when I reach out to either the person or people close to the person. So, and that started not only the right thing to do, but it started helping my reporting also.
Is there an honor amongst insiders to not re-break news a couple weeks later if the original break didn't do that well?
I would say I've probably done that by accident. Sometimes you put out something and you're like, wait, someone else had this? I would, you try to do something. If you try to put out something, you try to make sure that it's new. There's some sort of honor, but as far as that goes, if you're like, oh man, someone reported this, but they did a terrible job, I should report it, just wait a little bit. That doesn't happen, but I think it needs to start happening.
Okay, so Matt Ryan, Julio Jones are available for trade. That news was being spread on social media as breaking news or whatever, but we kind of knew that a couple weeks ago when didn't Arthur Blank do an interview and say the GM was going to be able to do whatever they wanted anyways? I feel like that was news that we already had, right? Yeah,
I mean, I think that is news, and it's also I don't know. Is it that surprising? Like, the Falcons are not good. They need a lot of help. They got some assets. I mean, they have a starting quarterback, and they have one of the greatest receivers
for
ever played the game.
For $100 million alongside of him, because that's what Matt Ryan's owed. You think there is a market for Matt Ryan if he's going to get traded?
Yeah, I mean, I would need to look at the contract, how much is guaranteed, because it's like Carson Wentz's contract. He's owed, I think, 80, whatever 23 times 4 is.
Do you have it?
Anyway.
Hey, we have it right here, Ian. We have it right here.
I have his cap hit for 2021, 2022, 2023 is 40, 41, and 36. His dead money for those years is 50, 26, and then 9.
It's big, Ian. It's big.
Right. But if you trade him, then 25 or 23 or whatever it is comes off the book. So he's tradable. But anyway, you wouldn't say, like, if he's bad, then you only have to pay one more year. If he's good, then he's cost controlled for the next 4 years. So that's why, like, you know, you can look at it either way. Like, Matt Ryan isn't owed $100 million. He could potentially get $100 million. But whatever's guaranteed is what he's actually getting. The rest is just pay as you go.
Julio is going to be a hot commodity on the trade streets, I would assume, right?
Maybe, but here's what I was thinking in this situation. Right?
Really?
Let's say you're Todd Bowles and you get the Falcons job, right? You want to win. You would love to hit the ground running and impress the people and maybe win a game or two. Are you sure you want to trade the best player in franchise history? Well, who's not named Deion Sanders? Like, is that going to be your first move as a coach to say, all right, the best receiver, also a great person, an ambassador, like, you sure you want to trade the best player that you have? That
Okay, so let's go to Houston then with Caserio with the Deshaun Watson news that he is, I believe, he talked to teammates about potentially asking for a trade or whatever's going on right now. There's no way Caserio gets rid of his best player at the most important position, right? Or would the draft capital be something you think that would be enticing?
I mean, I would never say never on any trade in the NFL. I mean, you can do this is like, I feel like it's your people who are doing this.
Oh, so it's Pelissero.
It's Pelissero.
It's Pelissero because he thinks you call him when he's on here.
No, it's every time I'm on with you guys, I get a call from a blocked number. I bet this is probably your fault. Anyway,
no, it's Pelissero. It's Pelissero.
Yeah, it probably is. So I would say if Nick Caserio is going to trade Deshaun Watson, which I don't think is going to happen, but let's just say for the sake of argument, it's possible. He's going to get so much that he will be able to completely rebuild this franchise and have it be a juggernaut. Like, Jamal Adams was worth 2 first-round picks. Jalen Ramsey was worth 2 first-round picks. What's Deshaun Watson worth? 4? 5? Would be future Hall of Famer, rock star, all-pro, great person, face of a franchise, was one of the best players in football this year, despite the fact that his team is terrible. 5 first-round picks? Jeez. I mean, you can't even imagine.
That would be big. Yeah, Connor, what do you got?
Rap sheet. Is Jimmy G going to be a 49er this year, or are those one of the teams that's going to be in the ring for like a Matt Ryan or a Stafford or a Deshaun Watson?
Matt Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I still have a hard time imagining Matt Ryan and Stafford trade. It's not impossible, but I'm just thinking.
Oh, Stafford's coming to Indy. You already reported that.
I would say Carson Wentz.
No!
Yeah.
No!
Why do you hate Carson Wentz?
I don't hate Carson Wentz.
Does he know you hate him?
I don't hate him. I love him. I'd like to go on his John Deere tractor and go hunting with him, but I'm not going to kill anything. But I will bring the energy. But the baggage, the contract alongside of it. Like, if we're going to go get somebody that already has a contract, bring in Matty Stafford, a guy that we know isn't broken. Because Carson, it sounds like he's potentially broken. I have no idea what's going on with him. That's a lot of money, but everybody's pushing the Carson to Frank Reich thing, and maybe they'll be great. But for me, it's like, let's go get the guy let's go save the guy out of Detroit if we're going to get somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I love Matthew Stafford as a player. Don't get me wrong. Like, not just as a player, but like human toughness. Like, I will randomly, of all players in the NFL, he's the number one player where I get random texts from teammates or from former teammates who are like, just so you know, like, that guy's a dude. Like, those are the kinds of messages I get about that. He's the best. Yeah. But again, if you're the new coach of the Lions and you have a franchise quarterback who is still good enough to play, who's not that expensive, who's tough as hell, are you sure you want to trade him and not know who's coming back? That's just a scary thing for any new coach. I don't know. That just seems very scary to me.
Chuck and Grigson cut Peyton Manning. What do you got, Ty?
Ian, there's been some rumors circulating that the Packers might be letting in just under 10,000 fans for the divisional round. Have you heard anything about that? Because they obviously haven't had fans the entire season.
I have not heard that specifically. I mean, I think it's one of the things we've sort of been watching. And if, let's say it was true and they could do it safely, I think it would be amazing. It's just, it has to be in the height of this pandemic, another height with, it seems hotspots all over the place. Like it would have to be safe. As a fan of great football franchises, I would think it would be awesome, but I haven't heard anything definitive on that.
What is it? You got contacts in like the local governments?
I got a couple of them. I will say this in my own, not defense, but whatever the opposite of defense is. I definitely knew that the Bills thing was coming and kind of forgot to check on it, and then it was announced. So I missed that.
Oh, amateur, Ian. Are you losing your fastball, dude? Oh, my God. Is it time to hang him up, Ian?
No, it's not time to hang him. It's just one of those lulls. It's like I need a boost. I need an energy boost.
You needed a kick in the ass like that Buffalo Bills fans thing that you missed. Now, Tom Pelissero did tell us that he rarely has a story or a break that he comes to you and says, and you don't go with, oh, I knew that or something like that. He said there's a very rare time where he tells you something and you don't go, oh, yeah, I didn't know that. You normally go, I knew that. Is that true?
Because I know a lot of things. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I try to be an honest person. Most of the time, I know almost or maybe everything. So that's why. Now, Tom, look, I think he does a great job. He doesn't know as much as I do. But, he's a very good reporter.
Ian, I think the thing about you is, like, your humility is just off the fucking charts. You know what I mean? Like, that is really something that Tom talks about. Yeah. I think the boys here talk about. It's something that we do talk about,
Yeah, of all the people with humility, I'm definitely the best.
Best ever. The best ever at being humble. What do you got, Connor?
Ian, is Urban Meyer a lock for Jacksonville? And is that $12 million definitely happening or no?
Yeah, who told you that the $12 million thing was not relevant or something like that? Somebody did not like that got out.
False. I do not think it's relevant, and I don't think it's true. Now, I mean, is it possible that's what he asked for at another place like Texas? Maybe. I don't know that, but maybe. That's why. I mean, the number didn't come from nowhere, and I think Florio was the one who reported it, and he doesn't just make stuff up. So I would imagine there's some, heft behind it. I just was told, as far as NFL jobs, that the $12 million is not something he's asking for. And, is he a lock to the Jaguars? He's going to have a chance at that job. I'm not saying he's a lock because, again, like he'll have to decide to do it or not. And I think there's another team interested as well.
Who?
But I would say I'm not sure yet, but I was told there's another team interested. I would have to 100% verify which team.
So hold on. So you get a message that says from somebody. We'll say somebody. Okay. So Urban's agent tells you. We're not saying it's Urban's agent or anything like that, but he'll come out and say, hey, the Jaguars news is getting out there. They're not the only team. And then all of a sudden he gives you a little clue, and then you got to Blue's Clues that thing and okay, he gave me a little trail, a little piece, and I got to go figure it out. Is that what kind of happens?
Urban does not actually have an agent, which makes this all much trickier. He used to, but he's not anymore.
I love that.
So, but that is basically, you talk to enough people and people go, yeah, there's, hey, there's another team. Like, you better keep an eye. And then I'll be like, oh, who? And they're like, that's for you to do. And I'm like,
so it is
it's really great. So, yes, that is my mission, to find the other team. So
all right. We can't wait to see you tweet that out. We're pulling for you. Is Stefanski going to be allowed to coach from a booth?
He's not. I've checked on it.
Come on, let the guy coach.
Why not?
Let the coach coach. Let us beat COVID. Let us beat COVID.
The answer is that's the way it has been. Those are the rules, and they have not yet been willing to change it. Honestly, it sucks. It does. I have not been. Ooh, I got a little piece of news that I'll tweet out as soon as we're done here.
Oh, what is it? Is it good? Is it good or no?
It's all right. It's all
Humble.
But
drag racing.
Just a small adjustment to things we've been talking about.
What were they driving?
But anyway, you'll see as soon as I hang up. So anyway, I forget what I was talking about, but whatever.
You did great. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rapoport. Thank you, Ian.
Take care, guys.
Hello. Now we got to keep an eye on his goddamn. See what he's breaking. What do you think it's going to be? He said it's a little bit of a modification of what we were just talking about there.
I bet you Stephon Diggs is good to play.
Or is it maybe? We didn't really talk about that at all, did we? Maybe it's about Urban Meyer.
Conversation, you think?
Because I think he said it's a little modification of what we were just talking about there. I think is what he said. I'm not 100% sure. So it might be about Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer to Jacksonville.
No, or the other team
That'd
that's
be
potentially
big news.
interested.
Jets?
Or reportedly interested. Maybe, I don't know.
Cowboys.
Maybe it is Stephon Diggs, though, with the oblique is all good to go. Let's get some phone calls, shall we? Did we learn anything in there? Not really.
Rap sheet knows it all.
Doesn't know.
Learn that.
There's another team for Urban. I don't know if we knew that.
Another team for
There were
Urban.
charges were reported for Urban.
Yeah. Fox, you fucking stick with the times, dude.
Jesus.
Stick with the news, bruh.
We talked about it.
We did talk about it, but did we learn anything?
Oh, Stafford and those quarterbacks may not be let go.
Oh, yeah, Deshaun Watson probably not going to be traded.
Yeah, why not?
Stafford probably not going to be traded. Matt Ryan, potential, or Julio Jones not going to get traded. That we did learn that.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and put that one down. We'll put it on the scorecard for old Ian Rapoport, see how it turns out.
Carson Wentz probably going to be a Colt.
Oh, we did learn that.
Right.
We've known that, though.
What do you got, Diggs?
No, me and Foxy were actually talking about the other day, like, because Lombardi, we always ask him, like, what's the GM coaching job that you would want? And he always says the Houston Texans because of Deshaun Watson, because they already have a quarterback there. So, like, why would the coach going into like Detroit want to get rid of a quarterback that they know is going to be good?
I agree. Hey, the hat looks amazing today, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Doesn't it?
It looks great,
like it a lot.
Honestly, might be the hat selection today. Unbelievable.
Top notch.
Award on Monday and Tuesday as well.
Yeah. Let's go to Jason in California. Much different reason
But
today.
today is different.
Today wasn't going to be a hat day.
It's a different look.
Every single day.
No. Today was not planned to be a hat day.
I don't think so.
No, today
Can't
was.
remember when the hat thing started. It's been a while.
Yeah, but today was a brand new. It was supposed to be a brand new day.
Tony Shelby.
Let's go to Tanner in Wisconsin. What's going on, Tanner? All right. Well,
Wisconsin. Snowing up there?
it is probably. Huh?
Yeah.
Coming. Hopefully. Yeah, you're right. Hopefully it continues to blizzard up there.
That's right.
Let's go to Jason in California. What's going on, Jason?
Hi, and the boys. Good to talk to you guys today.
Hey, great to talk to you as well.
Yeah, man. First-time caller. I've listened to you guys for a while now. Shout out to my friend Brad. He's the one that got me into this great show.
Okay, shout out, Brad. Shout out, Brad.
I'm just calling today about Derek Carr and what you guys think about him. I've been one of his biggest defenders as a Raiders fan for his entire career now. And I think he's a guy that can take this team over the top. He just needs a better team around him.
What happened?
What you guys thought on it?
Well, Jason, what happened there to his groin, bro? What happened to the groin thing? And then he played the next week or whatever. That was wild to me.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. I never heard what happened to his groin.
Did anybody?
You guys, I don't think anyone knew what happened to him.
Yeah, Jason. I mean, the thing about Derek Carr is, remember, after the groin thing happened, and then Mariota came in and balled.
Yeah.
My entire thought was because if you leave the game, primetime game that you must win, starting quarterback, you're leaving the game, that's because something serious happened, right? So in the way that thing looked like he was probably done for the rest of the season. My thought was we probably have never, with the way Mariota played, if he played these last couple weeks, however, see how the whole team went, I thought there was a chance we never see Carr play for the Raiders again. Now I have no idea. I have no clue what they're going to do. That Raiders team always starts hot. Out of surprises, everybody wins a bunch of games, and then towards the end, it just starts going downhill. The Raiders start going down in the desert. I mean, is that going to continue? John Gruden ain't going nowhere. He's going to be around for a long time. Will they change their quarterback? I don't know. Should Raiders fans expect them to change their quarterback? I think they should expect them to at least look into it a little bit. What do you got, Diggs?
Ian's tweet. The Chargers are going to interview Giants offense coordinator Jason Garrett tomorrow. That was his news.
Can you call him back? Can you call Ian Rapoport back?
Jay's got it.
Please, Jay. Thank you.
See, it was something we didn't talk about in the interview.
Yeah, but also that's not fucking news.
I know that.
That's not news. That is not news.
Where do you think Jason Garrett moves the needle?
Did he answer?
Yeah, he's on.
Ian, what the fuck? That is not breaking news, Ian.
I said it was a small thing.
No, that is not even. No, Ian. That news stunk, Ian. That news absolutely stunk. I guess whenever you cast a wide net or whatever, you're going to catch a couple crabs.
Yeah.
But that was not news.
Can I tell you what else is interesting? When I had the original report on Garrett going to the Chargers, I've never seen such hate for a candidate for a coach who finished over 500 and barely had a losing season ever and created Dak Prescott. What's wrong with your people online, man? Come on.
It's not my people. It's the internet, and the internet has a lot of problems. But I believe Jason Garrett potentially got a bad image because for like 5 straight years, people were in Cowboys fans. Some Cowboys fans were hoping he'd get fired, and Jerry wouldn't do it. So I think the rest of the world kind of saw that happen. But now after seeing the Cowboys post Jason Garrett, I think maybe you have to start questioning everything. But I believe Chargers fans want somebody exciting. You know, they want somebody exciting with the Herbert coming up and at them. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe someone who wins games would be good.
There you go.
All right, Ian Rapoport.
Yeah.
Hey, break that news. Break that news. That's bigger news than. That would.
I mean, you're not wrong. That news stunk.
That news stunk.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I guess that's going to happen every once in a while whenever you step into that batter's box. Ain't that right, NBA guy?
That's right. And sometimes you're just going to have to get a balk, get to first,
then steal second.
Get to third.
Let's go to Bill in Phoenix. Bill, what's going on, pal?
Hey, how's it going, Pat? Hope you're having a good day, man.
Hey, not too shabby. How are you?
Good. Hey, just a quick call. So I actually went to school with Kenny Galladay back at Northern Illinois University.
Whoa, good
I
player.
know he had, unfortunately, just a shit year with injuries.
Real
but
quick.
goddamn, is he good at football.
Real quick, Bill.
Yeah.
Whenever you say you went to school with somebody, then you proceed to say university. Like you guys were just on the same campus at the same time, or you guys actually had classes?
I wish I could. I had one class with him. I saw him maybe once, so I don't know if that counts. But I mean,
dope. Yeah, you went to class.
him, dude.
Yeah, you saw him. And by the way, shout out to him going to class one time.
Yeah, pretty good. Exactly.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Amen.
But with him coming up, free agent coming up, and just a year of injuries. Do you see him with them trying to move him out of Detroit? I mean, how much does an injury for pretty much the entire season really affect him able to make a big contract this year?
Bill, I have no idea. Bill, I wish I knew that situation a little bit better.
When he did play, he was awesome. He was the go-to guy. Those are the only games we won, so I hope they re-sign him, but it's Detroit, so you never know.
But Matt could potentially be on the move, too. Matthew could be on the move as well. And if Matthew's not there, is Kenny like, I'll go play for Vet Min somewhere, actually.
Probably.
He gonna get paid.
Yeah, he's good, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He's a player.
He's very good.
Well, Chris Spielman and the boys up there in the Lions want to kind of pull the trigger and keep Kenny Galladay around.
Yeah, with this Jason Garrett news rolling, it really scares me. The Lions might pull the trigger on him. It really scares me.
He might be able to build culture in there, though.
That's right.
They already decided on Dan Campbell 2 weeks ago.
Dan Campbell, by the way, he is the assistant head coach for the New Orleans Saints right now. He was previously the interim head coach for the Miami Dolphins. Most noted move he made, first day he became the interim head coach for the Miami Dolphins, professional athletes ran Oklahoma drills in the middle of the season.
Nice.
Set a standard, won a couple games.
Talk about culture.
Damn right. Jawline on that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what Patricia was doing, too.
Yeah. And Mangini, by the way, the rumors about Mangini is he used to have the guys 6 a.m. Oklahoma drills for the rookies, full pads in the practice facility. Don't be late.
Time to wake up.
Awesome.
Wake them up.
Could you imagine? You get to be here.
God damn.
You want to make it in the NFL, kid?
Yeah.
Hit! Will Smith just had a movie. Hit! Why are we doing this so early in the morning? Oh.
What did you say?
Tomorrow we're coming in an hour early. I don't know if any of that's true, by the way. That's just rumors that have got to our locker room from the Cleveland locker room, kind of ventured
So
over.
you can probably bet. Probably happened.
There's probably some sort of something that happened when Mangini got in there where he was like, we're going to establish a tough culture here. And then all the players were like, what the fuck, dude?
Why?
We get it, man. Can we not just... we draft tough players instead of trying to make soft guys tough?
That's a good idea.
That's probably what we should do here. If you want to change the standard here, start bringing in the tough guys. It's going to be tough to make, Boston Connor a tough guy.
Let me go, coach. I don't have to play for you.
Listen, I'm not the guy to be hit.
I'll go to Detroit. Just let me play somewhere else.
But by the way, if I'm running a team, I would like guys that wake up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
and want to run their heads into walls.
You want the Hawks.
Now, granted, I do not want to be on that team.
No.
I do not want to be a part of that.
No.
But I would like guys that do want that. So you can see how Mangini would want that to happen, but it's the humans you have as opposed to the drill you're running.
What are you going to do?
Let's go to Jackson in Buffalo. What's going on, Jackson?
Pat, boys, what's good?
Just hanging
Look,
out. How are
I
you?
don't want to overreact, but Josh Allen's going to win 4 Super Bowls in a row for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
He might.
They look very loose.
Hey, they are dancing to MC Hammer at practice today. They are getting loose and getting down in Buffalo. 716, the entire area code up there. They are having the time of their life. That Buffalo Bills team is so comfortable, so confident. They got a Colts team this weekend that is going to be tough on the defense side of the ball. They're going to run the ball well. They got a tough opponent. It feels like the Buffalo Bills don't give a damn about anything. Nope. They are having the time of their lives right now.
Yeah, I was very convinced the Colts were going to maybe win. I wanted to bet on them after seeing the boys dancing out there in Orchard Park. They're going to beat the shit out of the Colts, I'm afraid.
Jeez.
I mean, you just look at it. They do. They look loose. They look like they're having fun.
Loose. It'd be tough to come back if they lost to the Colts after this.
Well, it would be difficult in the AFC East if you were Bills Mafia, if you guys get in and lose immediately to this Indianapolis Colts team. But they could, by the way. This Colts team is built to beat the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, yeah.
I love this Colts team, especially with the newfound identity of Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. And how do you know the Colts aren't dancing right now over at practice, you know? Just because you don't release it doesn't mean it's not happening.
I bet Darius Leonard is dancing, by the way. That's all the guy does.
You think Philip Rivers got him line dancing down there?
He boots, scooting, boogie. By the way, I have
Carson will have them next year. They'll be doing
right.
Copperhead Road.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I was about to say, I line danced one time in a saloon in the hills of Virginia. And I'd let you know, it is the electric slide with an extra kick more often than not. Mm-hmm. But boy, when Copperhead Road comes on, get out of the way. They are coming to the fucking dance floor from every single surrounding town. Copperhead Road turned the place upside down.
Carson might be more of a Christian rock guy.
You think? This is Wave Junkies, by the way. The song's called My Calling. It is a sensual beat that we use more often than not because the Wave Junkies are what we like to call incredibly consistent, always make good sounds.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Darius Leonard's dancing. The Buffalo Bills are dancing. First game of Super Wild Card Weekend, Saturday, 1:05. The Indianapolis Colts travel to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills. And Josh Allen in an incredibly hot Buffalo Bills team.
Is the Nickelodeon game on Saturday or Sunday?
I believe it's the.
I would like to clear my schedule.
I believe it's the Sunday.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Here we go. That game's going to stink.
What do you mean?
It's not meant for us, and you shouldn't watch it. It's kind of creepy if you do, actually. Now
What
that
are
I
you
think
talking about?
What are you doing? You looking up SpongeBob?
Googly eyes.
SpongeBob in between the posts. Just gimme.
That's for Mitt. Mitt, we only have 10 seconds. He just grabbed a microphone. We'll be back in the next hour with Tom Segura and AJ Hawk. This should be great conversation. You're the best. You got 6 minutes. Go take a shit.
This is Remember the Titans. How's it going? My name is Pat McAfee. I do a lot of things. Today I am a professional analyst getting ready for the Thursday night football opener in beautiful Nippert Stadium with the Cincinnati Bearcats here at Higher Ground. This secluded world. Good squad, good place. Excited for this morning practice. I'm obviously unbiased, but I'm pulling hard for Cincinnati to do well on Thursday night.
I like to say, I'll leave clipboard quarterback.
This is awesome.
And we got hopefully a future NFL kicker. Let's see what you got. Come on.
This is great for the brand. This guy's an athlete. Athlete. Hey, let's go. Let's go.
They say kickers are athletes. We'll find out. Let's go. Pull it up! Heads up! Heads up!
Popping on the west side, this is where I stay. I just made
Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for hospitality. Have a great day. Let's go get away.
3, 1, 2, 3. Going in, I'ma close the case. I can't wait no more, man. I gotta blow today. I'ma blow today. I ain't hearing what they say. Need a blue face. I've been caring about the race. I've been trying to eat. I need more than just a taste. Now they trying to talk. Oh no, they should know their place. Man, I'm ballin'. This ain't cap, baby. Now I feel like calling. From the O, but I got the music poppin'. All the time, man, it started to get obnoxious. Now I gotta drive down, feeling nauseous. Gotta drive top down, then I hop out. I've been feeling hot now.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you got it.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
This has been so cool to see. Whenever we were driving out here into the sticks, my boys and I from Indianapolis, we were told by Coach Fickle it was a 40-minute drive from where we live. Absolute lie, hour and a half out here. But as we were getting out here, we didn't know what we were going to show up to. And this is such a cool scene here. I remember whenever I was in college, we won a lot of games, beat Cincinnati a couple times. It was a great day. But I remember my boys, right? Like I still am in touch with them every single day, every single week. We had this moment where we went from boys to become men. And you guys were a really young team last year, but got to experience a lot of wins. Like now the expectation level are high. And I can't wait to talk you all up on Thursday night against UCLA. UCLA refused to respond to my tweet. So I am a Bearcat fan on that opening night, and I cannot wait to watch you guys dominate. And I think this is such a cool thing. Coach, I can't thank you enough for your hospitality. I got a bunch of swag from you guys, too. This has been a cool day. Enjoy this, though. This doesn't happen a lot. Even when you get into the NFL, it's not like college. It's not like your boys. It's not like this. It's a whole different world that you'll remember forever, and I was honored to be here to watch you today, and I can't wait to watch you guys go win the thing on Thursday night and then throughout the rest of the season. Thank you so much. Cheers, boys. Thank you. What's the most beer you did in one night you think of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, you know, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, you know, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on you. You don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them. Nice. But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. Like, when did that start?
No, you know what? I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused. They'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Hour 3 on this Thursday, January 7th, 2021. We'll begin immediately upon the beat drop of the song that's playing in the background right now. There it was. Shout out to music class. And to Twine for making that. Joining me, ladies and gentlemen, college football champion and Super Bowl champion, AJ Hawk. Click clack, dude. How you doing in that Under Armour hoodie?
Good. This is I just got this. It's from the Dwayne Johnson line. If you ever go into Dick's, see it.
Are you the hardest worker in that room that you're in right now?
Yeah, I'm the only one. So yes, I win.
Nice. You got some Terramana up there, dude? You doing shots of Terramana tequila?
Oh, is that what? That's his tequila that he made?
I guess it is very good.
The Terramana.
I guess the Terramana is very good. It has the, all the spirit, the mana from from Hawaii.
Exactly.
I guess it tastes delicious. But the hoodie looks good, as do you. We're talking to Tom Segura today. Do you know him?
Yes, I know Tom. I was texting with him throughout his injury.
Whoa. Oh, I didn't know you guys were like besties like that. That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, a man who has 4 specials on Netflix and also suffered the most gruesome injury I've ever seen in my life, moments after accomplishing one of the greatest athletic feats I've ever seen in my entire life. Ladies and gentlemen, comedian, host of so many shows, Tom Segura.
Attaboy, Tom! What's up, man?
Hey, thanks for joining us, dude.
Thank you. Hey, AJ's been to my house, man.
What's that all about? We're out in California. AJ just sleeps on the couch.
We served AJ burnt chicken. I mean, AJ.
I've seen your house, by the way, because of all the incredible podcasting you do with your wife. You're an inspiring man. Okay, you're incredibly hilarious. You're humble, and also what you're doing right now in this recovery from one of the most grotesque injuries I've ever seen is something that I'll keep with me anytime I feel an ache or pain for the rest of my life, Tom.
Thanks, man. It's good to be hanging out with other pro athletes. I feel at home, and yeah, I mean, it was foul, dude. It was a nasty ass injury, and I mean, it's crazy because I mean, you guys have been around. I'm sure teammates. I don't know about your own personal past injuries, but when you have an injury like that, your whole fucking world just flips upside down.
Oh yeah, and by the way, everybody around you too, their world changes too because they just witnessed it.
Everybody's world changes around you. I mean, your family, your friends, your whole work life, and you just feel like, you feel like it's the equivalent of being shot. It's like you're like, I don't even know. I mean, you're just in an isolated room, and you're calling nurses to hand you something 6 inches away. And you're like, this is my new life. It's so traumatic.
For those that don't know what have happened, and AJ will ask this question, we should run the tape so people can know what happened. He was in the middle of a... Hold on. We should show the other video first. We should show the other video first. So he was...
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The reason why this thing was taking place is because I assume you and Bert were in an athletic challenge of some sort.
That's exactly right. Bert and I we played 2-on-1 versus Tristan Jazz. Tristan's this really talented young kid, does trick shots, and we played him 2-on-1 and we lost. And our points counted as 2 and his counted as 1.
That's awesome.
Then, and Bert, it's all Bert's fault. He fucking missed a layup.
Amen.
Anyway, then we were going to play 1-on-1, and my producer, Lindsay, goes, hey, man, I think we should do the dunk thing first, and then you guys can do 1-on-1. And I go, okay. So they had the rim lowered to 7 or 7.5, and they're like, just start here. So we're dunking, and then we raise it to 8, 8.5.
You get it to 9, and this is what happens. Get it to 9, and this is what happens. Here's Bert Kreischer.
Here's Bert.
Miss.
You can't do it, right? Come on.
Bring it. Bring it.
Look, I understand there's some dudes out there that have that crazy... I know guys that are normal size that can do dunk on 10, and you're like, that is fucking freaky. That's elite athleticism. But I'm 41, 240 plus pounds.
Stand-up comedian, one of the greatest on earth at stand-up comedy podcast host. Nobody's expecting you to have explosivity to get up there at 9 feet and hammer that thing down.
Hammer that shit clean. I know dudes taller than me, lighter than me that can't do that shit. fuck off.
So incredible athletic feat, and then just moments later, it is followed.
This is probably 2 to 3 minutes later.
2 to 3 minutes later, this happens.
Jesus. So what you're seeing there, a lot of people think that they're like, oh man, you stepped on a wet spot. No fucking Momo. I didn't step on a fucking wet spot. My left patella tendon ripped in half, and then I landed on my arm and broke that shit now.
Not enough conversation about the treasonous bullshit that your left arm did. Your left arm is not supposed to commit suicide while you're falling. That's supposed to help brace the landing, you know? It just quit on you. It just completely quit.
That shit went kamikaze on me, and I'll tell you this, man. A lot of people are wondering which hurts worse. The fucking arm.
I would imagine.
It hurts way worse.
Tom, what was it like having Bert there, like in the moment? What were you thinking? I guess when you look up and you see Bert leaning over when he finally realizes, hey, this is a big deal.
First of all, it's like the pain. You have the pain, the shock of the pain, right? And then I realize that I'm on my right side. And I'm actually trying to pull my left arm over, and it takes a moment to register, like, oh, it's broken. like I want to bring it over, and it's not coming over. And then I hear, because there's a couple people filming, and I hear this dude. He's like, his arm. And then I hear Bert. He's like, you all right, buddy? I mean, they're all in shock. You know, they're like, you're all right, buddy. And he reaches over. I don't remember him actually helping me bring my arm over. I thought I did it. I really did. But I do remember looking up and going, call 911. Like, why aren't one of you already doing that right now? And then Bert goes, I'm going to step outside. I didn't want to be around it at all. And then these fucking paramedics came. And they're looking at me, and they're looking at Tristan Jass and his friends. And one guy, paramedic, keeps telling me, he goes, why are you playing with these kids? I'm sitting there like, huh? And then I get in the back of the ambulance. He goes, you're out here playing with kids. And then I get to the hospital, and the same fucking paramedic comes and sees one of the doctors. He goes, he's out there playing with kids.
I like that there was a heel in this entire thing, and it was the guy who was supposed to be helping you.
Helping me out.
What followed? I assume you had to have surgery. A lot of them. What has happened since?
This is actually pretty great. So I go to a hospital, and I immediately, and I'm telling you, I'm all fucked up. I'm in crazy pain, like, because it's right from the injury to the hospital. And I'm like, this hospital fucking sucks. And I get I get a horrible rap. Like, it's not a cast or anything. They take x-rays. They're like, you're fucked. And they're like, you need to see a surgeon, like, tomorrow. And I was like, guess what? I'm getting out of this hospital. And they were like, you don't want to do that. And I go, yes, I do. I don't want to be here. So I leave the hospital and I go home. Broken arm, torn tendon, no cast, nothing, right? I get home. I have friends help me get on a couch. I sleep on a couch, and the next morning, Bert found a guy that for $50 will pick you up in a van. And he has an old wheelchair, like the shit doesn't even work. They have to carry me. I usually do shit alone. Like every time, you know, when you're like, do you want to go alone or you want someone to come with you? I'm always the guy who's like, I got it. You know, I grabbed Bert and I was like, don't you fucking leave me. This guy had long hair that when he pushed the wheelchair, I would feel his hair hanging on my face and shit because his hair was so long. Smelled like cigarettes. So he takes me to an orthopedic surgeon who goes, you left the hospital? He goes, you need to go to the hospital right now. And he's like, you need to have surgery on both of these. I just looked at everything. He's like, you need to go to the hospital right now. So what I do is I tell this driver, take me to Cedars. Cedars is Los Angeles' biggest hospital. It's also one of the top 5 hospitals in the nation, right? This guy, all he does is drive people in wheelchairs. And I go, take me to Cedars. He goes, what's that? And I was like, who the fuck are you, man? Like, don't you drive people in wheelchairs all day? So he takes me to Cedars, and then the whole thing just begins, man, where it's like getting into that emergency room and the fast track, and then they just start pumping me full of drugs. And I mean, I'm on crazy drugs for about 10, 12 days. And yeah, I got 2 titanium plates in this arm. Woo! I got the patella tendon reattached, and then today I actually go to a follow-up to find out if I'm going to switch braces on my leg.
Hey, big days. You go to that next brace.
Next brace. I'm doing PT 6 days a week. I got a fucking bionic glove on this hand.
What is?
That's because I bruised my radial nerve. So this thing helps me like get more usage out of this hand while it heals.
From dunking a basketball or trying
From
to...
being a fucking Skywalker, bro. That's what I have to do. Yeah.
Well, Tom, was it worth it? Was it worth it still? And especially what you're going to get out of this?
You're going to think I'm like some new agey fucking weirdo now, but it has been like one of the most traumatic but kind of life open. I'm telling you, like,
you fucking weirdo, dude. Don't be a weirdo, dude. Don't be a weirdo,
no,
dude.
It really has been. It really has been, man. I mean, I had so many people help me that when that happens, I think you're like, it kind of changes your perspective a little bit on your life.
By the way, I was joking with you. You're a human.
No, I know. But I mean, it's wild. It's wild. So many people help you.
Yeah,
and
but you don't have to preface that with, I don't want to be a weirdo. I'm going to, my life has changed a little bit now that like 25 people dedicated their entire days to my existence. Like, that's not being a weirdo. That's being a human there. When are you back on track to maybe move your hands without a bionic glove and walk again?
I should be able to like walk around with the bendable brace for like, I don't know. If I get into it tomorrow or today, I'll have that thing for a couple months, and then it'll go to like a sleeve, and then this fucking radial nerve thing. They're just like, oh, your hand will just incrementally get better, and it'll just come on. And I go, when? They're like, I mean, it could be like 3 weeks or 21 months. That's a cool fucking diagnosis there. Prognosis. Thanks, man.
So what's next? What do we get? Were you in the middle of working on any comedy? Like, did this slow anything down, or is like?
I had dates. I was supposed to go the next day to Phoenix. I was like, I think I got to cancel that. I mean, I have some shit. I have things on the books. You know how? I mean, COVID obviously changed everything, but I have dates throughout 2021. I'm supposed to shoot a special in Spanish in 2021.
Ooh, like you're speaking the Spanish.
Yeah, the whole thing in Spanish. And then I have a tour that's supposed to, like a big tour that would start in the fall, which that'll probably all come on.
Does everybody know you just speak Spanish well? Like, you're known as the guy that does good Spanish, and you have enough knowledge of the Spanish language that you can deliver it in a joke fashion to people that...
Yeah, I was doing shows in Spanish up until March, last year. So
that's
I
awesome.
would do English show, Spanish show. Yeah. So, I mean, I was supposed to shoot it last year. And then when COVID came, Netflix was like, I had to sign an amendment that said I'll shoot it the next year. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we're gonna, if things get better and I can go back out on the road, I'll be able to shoot it sometime this year.
Yeah, you just rolling out on the stage would be awesome. Ty, what do you got?
Nothing.
Oh, God.
Tom, if your knee didn't implode on impact, do you think that you're dunking on that 9.5 rim?
For sure.
I think first of all, I don't remember if they put it at 9.3 or 9.6. I just remember that, I was feeling good. I didn't tell you that there was another guy there who, on my first dunk, the first dunk was like on an 8 foot or 7.5. I did a reverse dunk, right? I did it behind my back. And this guy, Roy, that works there, he's a basketball coach. He goes, "Hey man, you got that Larry Johnson in you." And I go, he's my favorite. Larry Johnson was my favorite, and I'll tell you why. As a kid, it's not just the UNLV days and stuff, but I identified, as like a football player, and I thought he looked like a football player playing basketball, right? So I loved Larry Johnson. So I pull Roy aside, and I open my bag, and I show him I have a Larry Johnson jersey on me. And after the 9-foot dunk, Roy pulls me. They raised it a few. This is before the injury. He goes, "You're gonna have to dig deep, man. You got to dig for that Larry Johnson." And I got such an adrenaline rush. You know when you get the adrenaline rush where you tell yourself to calm down first, like where you're like, maybe like you're about to lift and you're like, "All right, my heart's racing too much. Like I'm just gonna chill for a second." I ignored that right before that jump, dude. I was so amped up because I was like, I gotta hit this raised amount.
For Larry.
I will tell you this: I don't know if I would have hit it. I will definitely come out of this like probably 40 pounds lighter. I'm already down like 20 pounds.
Oh, okay.
And I'll come out of this, I think in 6 or 9 months, definitely stronger. And I'll do it again. I don't give a fuck if it pops again.
Hey, you get back on that wood, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm not. I got these fucking weak fucking ass like people that are like, don't ever play sports again. Like I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind, dude. Like I will be back out on basketball court, tennis court. I'll fucking play rugby. I don't give a shit.
Don't play rugby. Don't play rugby. I would say.
Hey, Tom, last thing for me, going back to those Spanish sets that you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm sure you announced like when you're doing an only Spanish set, how do the English speakers that show up to the show believing they're going to see Tom Segura do English? How do they handle that?
I mean, we just roast them. There's probably like 4 or 5 at every show, and they're like, "Fuck, I didn't read the ticket." And I'm like, "It's fucking in Spanish. Like it says in Espanol, and like none of this is in English." And they're like, "I just didn't look." And then we just kind of like I just go back to them and kind of mess with them. But yeah, they're at every show. Every show has somebody who's like, I didn't realize this was in another language.
When did you decide that you were gonna have you always known the Spanish language, or did you learn it?
My mother is Peruvian, so I spoke Spanish growing up.
Oh, so it's smooth. Like it is no problem at all.
It's pretty good. I found out there's a big difference between conversational Spanish, like talking to you right now, and then getting like performing. So I've had to like really focus and study and go over, because having a conversation is one thing. Performing to a crowd, you want it to be as tight and then grammatically correct. So it's been work, but I mean it's fun, and the crowds have been amazing. Like I did Tempe, Arizona before this, and I did a couple big LA shows, and I had a whole tour set up and I was going to go to Mexico City to shoot the special, but everything got delayed.
Oh, that would have been awesome, Diggs. I can't wait to see it. By the way, Diggs, what do you got?
Tom, we're built similarly.
I see that now.
Active husky.
Active husky. I like that.
Was there any indication or warning that this was going to happen? Because when I cross the street and I have to pick up my pace a little bit, I always fear that I'm going to tear my Achilles and then be laying and get run over and stuff like that. So was there any warning signs that I could look for or anything like that?
Dude, here's the thing that I wish I could tell you yes. But I'll tell you this, man. The last 6 months, I've been playing tennis, which is not the same as basketball, but I've been playing tennis 2 to 3 times a week. I was lifting 2 to 3 times a week. And, squats, deadlifts, nothing was like, oh, my knee hurts. I didn't run around and feel like, oh, I'm in pain. The only warning sign looking back was the morning of the injury. I was in my office with my staff, and I was like, yeah, we're going to do this thing. I'm going to smoke Bert in this thing. And they're like, how high do you think you can dunk? And I go, I could definitely dunk on a 9-foot hoop. And a couple guys on my staff were like, I don't think so. And I was like, what? And they were like, I don't think you can do that. And I was like, bitch, watch this. And I jumped in the lobby, in jeans.
No warm up, nothing.
Well, I went and I popped the ceiling, right? There's like a ceiling tile.
Ooh.
And but I landed and I was like, that kind of hurt a little bit. And I will say this, if you're gonna do some shit like I did and you're my age and build, you should prepare for fucking 6 weeks. Stretch a lot. Get your fucking jumping muscles ready. Don't just get into it. I used to play basketball, when I got to LA, I played pickup games in Hollywood. I would just play all the time. I'm 22 and you just go I play I love basketball. And I did not play for a long time.
But you still had the 22-year-old Tom out there slicing and dicing on that fucking pickup game against what 5'6" Hollywood playing pickup basketball out there. That game might be the best. Is that the shortest game in America? The Hollywood pickup games?
No, dude, no. There's that. It gets grimy. The Hollywood YMCA has like little hustlers and like street people at it. Like it was a grimy game. I mean, shoving matches, elbows. And then there would be like the fucking guy from a Dove commercial, and you're like, who the fuck are you? What are you doing here?
I just think of Tom Cruise coming out there on the court.
No, but
give me the ball. Give me the ball. Like just so small.
Hollywood. The big misnomer there is that Hollywood implies sexy and chic. Hollywood means grimy and shitty. Hollywood means there's fucking needles on the ground.
So you got to watch where you're dribbling there. You work on your handles. For sure.
It's disgusting. Hollywood is so fucking gross.
Nick, what do you got?
Tom, glad to hear you're recovering well. And when you get your strength back and you get back in shape, is there any thought, because we know you're such a big wrestling fan and the wrestling community loves you, if you would maybe, help Pat out in the ring, step into the ring, anything like that?
What was your character? What was it?
Mystic Rick, man.
Who?
Mystic Rick.
That's what I thought. I'm sorry. I forgot about Mystic Rick.
And Mystic Rick will drop the turkey slicer on your ass.
I know. I saw your promos. I saw them.
And you didn't want any of that smoke. I remember that.
Yeah. No, nothing. As soon as I saw Mystic Rick in his first time talking, I was like, I want nothing to do with that guy over there.
You don't want this shit, man. I mean, Sammy Guevara, I've talked to him about getting in the ring, so we'll see. We'll see what happens, man.
You're about 6 years away from getting back into a fucking wrestling ring, buddy. I don't know if you know that. That rehab process.
6 years?
No, I'm joking. But that rehab process is a pain in the ass, dude. Like, you have to teach your knee how to walk again and everything.
Wait, you fucked your knee up, right?
Patella, yeah, I had a dislocated patella. Nothing like what you had, but I had a dislocated patella. How
hard was your rehab?
The rehab, it sucks because, you got to like teach your leg how to walk again. Then they scrape the scar tissue. That's like the worst day. I don't even know if you've gotten there yet.
Did you do blood flow restriction?
Yeah, obviously they do the thing. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah.
The compression thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing.
I did my first one yesterday.
Hurt like hell?
Yeah, it hurt like hell. And then she was like, but they always try to like pump you up. She was like telling me like these NBA players she goes, that dude quit before you. You're fucking better than him.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah. Fuck that guy. He might be an all-star, but he's a bitch.
Tom, happy to hear that you've changed through this whole process. Happy you're a weirdo and you don't have feelings. You're nice. We appreciate it.
I love you guys. I'm a big fan of both you guys, and I'm happy for all your success. And fucking call more often, man. What the fuck?
Hey, seems like you don't have much going on for the next few weeks. We will definitely do that. Tom, we appreciate you so much, man. You're a legend.
Absolutely. My best to you guys, your whole staff, man. Thanks very much for having me.
Tom Segura. Yeah! Thank you, Tom.
See you, man.
Legendary, dude.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Scary.
AJ.
That is a scary injury.
It really is. How about him just going home because the hospital had bad lighting or something? I'm not getting in this. No way, dude. I'm not doing this surgery here. Look at that fucking light. Get me out of here. Just goes home. Does he have painkillers? Like, how does he? He slept on a couch, by the way. So you're crushed on your arm.
Yeah.
What a wild animal there.
Yeah, the arm thing, having to wear that little thing to. So if he bruised his nerve, it's not. Is that like the Peyton? Remember, Peyton was waiting on his nerve to like regenerate. Is it a similar thing?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking whenever he was talking about it. It might be 3 months, might be 20, or might be 3 weeks, might be 21 months, because that was the big question that Peyton had on whether or not he could feel a ball again. And the Colts had to make a decision on whether or not they were going to cut him before a date. And it was during the lockout, I think. And then there's like a lot of shit going on. And they were like, we don't even know if he's going to be able to feel a ball again. He was able to.
Yeah.
And Tom will be able to get back out there and go to that Hollywood meth basketball game and the handles with the left hand and dunk on a 9 1/4 foot rim for sure.
Hell yeah.
Hey, he looked good in that dunk. He looked like an athlete in that dunk.
I think he played football in college for maybe 1 year.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. He went to a smaller school. Yeah, he played in high school. I think he tried to play his freshman year and then he stopped.
What's his house like? Just incredible?
And the house I was at was awesome, but that was his old house. Now he's moved into some something next to the Kardashians, I think.
Ooh, wow. Netflix
He's out there in Calabasas.
Yeah.
Good for him. We got to get to a break. On the other side, we'll chit-chat with AJ Hawk, take some phone calls. A lot of players wanting trades, potential trades, coaches on the move, and super wild card weekend, AJ. There's a lot to talk about. Let's wrap up this Thursday, January 7th in beautiful fashion. This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
I was told by Del Curry, Scottie Pippen struggles on a golf course, right?
Right.
I was told at that thing that I'm going against Scottie Pippen the next day, match play, heads up, one-on-one Scottie Pippen. So we decide, like, okay, we probably have a couple drinks, stay at the casino a little bit longer than we should.
Representing the NFL out of the Shoeless Golf Club of America, Pat McAfee. His opponent, representing the NBA, Scottie Pippen.
You know what I mean? This guy's got 6 rings. Yeah. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. But today he's going to play against me. And then I start seeing Scottie hit some shots that are just like starting to come together. And I'm like, wait a fucking minute. I think I was lied to.
We were lied to yesterday. We were told Scottie Pippen was a terrible golfer. Bro, he's Scottie fucking Pippen.
Going in the back 9, I think I was down 1. Like, we were battling. But I started making putts. And Scottie Pippen went ahead and got real hot. I mean, real fucking hot. I was down 3 with 7 left. And I looked right in the camera, and I go,
So we're down 3 with like 7 holes left. Scottie Pippen's about to get this work.
Scottie Pippen from 190 yards out just fucking dunks it. Fucking boom, bang, and then walks up to the green, gets the ball, cameras on him, and he goes, Pippen ain't easy.
Kidding me. All right, down 4 with 6 left after Scottie Pippen just chips in from fucking 400 yards out.
I was fucking demoralized.
Pippen ain't easy.
By the way, best he's ever performed at golf, because I'm around, better teammate than Jordan.
Yep.
People forget. Oh, yeah, I told Del, I was like, Del, what the fuck you lying to me? He was like, well, I saw it yesterday. He was not great. And Greg Anthony told me, and I was like, Del, he buried me, Del Curry. He buried me. He was like, hey, Pippen ain't easy.
Yes, baby, it's time to celebrate.
Talking about a shotgun of beer after he had beat me, obviously. I like teach him how to do it.
Yeah, put a hole in there. It might spread a little bit, so.
Yeah, so you're going to go here, and then you're going to open and flip up. Does that make sense? Congrats on winning the NBA a couple times, blah, 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 blah. And being an incredible golfer. Thanks, Paul. Cheers, man. Hey. 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 Hey.
Damn.
Okay,
That's the
Scottie.
best Bud Light I ever had.
Hey, there's no stuck here.
You're right.
Dance with me.
The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Song's called Disco, dude.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
Have a little respect for it. By the way, if you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you that running a business is tough.
Oh, yeah.
Hard work.
But you might be making it harder on yourself than necessary. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down anymore. It's time to upgrade, AJ, to NetSuite.
Yeah.
AJ, tell us why you enjoy NetSuite.
I enjoy NetSuite because you are going to explain exactly what it is and what it does here coming up.
That's right. You and I were talking about this before the show. We need to tell people to stop paying for multiple systems that don't give you the information you need when you need it. Ditch the spreadsheets and all the old software you've outgrown. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Everything you need all in one place instantaneously, whether you're doing millions or hundreds of millions in revenue. Save time and money with NetSuite. Join the over 22,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Let NetSuite show you how they'll benefit your business with a free product tour at netsuite.com/Pat. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/Pat. That's netsuite.com/PAT. AJ.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson has alluded to potentially wanting traded out of Houston. If you're Caserio, the Italian man with a very distinguished jawline like yourself going into Houston, not a lot of draft capital, not a lot of future because of Bill O'Brien's moves that he made to make your team how it is right now. Would you trade the best player you have, Deshaun Watson, to potentially get a lot of draft capital and be able to build forward? Or would you say, I got a guy in a position that you need a guy in, even though he's under contract, this is somebody we can't get rid of?
Man, it's enticing to think about trading him and all that you could possibly get for him. But look what every NFL team does. Like if you don't have your franchise quarterback, you're constantly looking for that franchise quarterback and trying to find a way to win because that's what you need if you want to win the Super Bowl. But Deshaun Watson, the year he had was unbelievable this year. I know they were a bad team, but how well he played, I don't think you can get rid of him. Like I just don't. You have to have a foolproof plan in place of somebody to come in that is going to replace him, I guess, and I don't think they have that.
Yeah, the issue is you're not going to be able to build your team with what you currently have because you have no draft capital and you don't have a lot of money, I don't think. Now, JJ will save you 17 if you cut him. Now, that's going to have to be another massive decision. Salary cap is not growing. I don't know what they're going to do down there. I'm intrigued to see who it is. But, hey, I mean, if it's 5-1s like Ian Rapoport alluded to, don't do it. It's going to be a tough sell, but hey, man, why not just have him play for Colts?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Play for Colts. Trade him within the division. You know, why not? Why not, AJ?
Be smart.
Why not do that? Other big news from the day. Falcons owner Arthur Blank confirms the report that Julio and Matt Ryan could be traded. Julio, Mr. Rapoport said, probably not as likely to be traded because whoever comes in there, if they trade away their best player who's beloved by the city and the face of your franchise, that's a very difficult move. But Julio, if he wants to get out of there, maybe he'll have a little bit of a leverage play, AJ.
Yeah, he might be able to. I think it'd be really tough to trade Julio. I mean, obviously you'll get some backlash from your fans. They got Calvin Ridley down there, which was another good draft pick. But Julio's he's so special, man. Like when the dude is healthy, he's like, how tall is he? He's almost like 6'5". I don't know how much he weighs. He can run. He's faster than everybody. He goes up, gets every contested ball. Like he's one of those dudes that if you're a DB, like have fun. Like good luck. It's gonna be a long day.
I was at a blackjack table next to him. He was like probably about that tall. Seemed like he was about that tall, sitting at the same seat I was sitting at.
6'6".
Guys that big shouldn't be able to move that way.
Yeah, he had a tight tank top on that used to be referred to as a beater. Mm-hmm. He had like linen pants on, sunglasses on, and he was playing like 4 hands at a time. And then when he stood up, it was like a full. You felt it, you know what I mean? And then he like kind of just glided away onto the beach. I was like, holy shit, that guy and I play in the same league, and I'll take $25 worth of it. That is, it was a wild. That was a wild time being next to somebody that is just, you know, he's bigger, stronger, faster, probably much smarter, can catch a ball better, probably throw a ball better, and a guy who, you know, aside from that 1 year. Has he ever really gotten into the spotlight like he should be? I don't know if he has. Guy's unbelievable. Why? Imagine him with the Packers, AJ.
Oh, jeez. Come on now. Like, yeah, it would be. That would be unfair, probably.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Imagine him with the Chiefs.
Wouldn't you? If you're a fan of it, exactly. Somehow Andy Reid will make this happen.
Yeah.
Somehow Andy Reid will restructure that contract to pay him in 2035 if the world exists then, and it'll be like no big deal at all. Other big news: Drew Brees said he came back this year not for the money, but for the city and the franchise.
Yeah!
Boy, Drew.
It's not for myself. Came back for the city and the organization. That's why I'm here. Says Nick_Underhill. Don't know who he is, but shout out to Drew for putting it on for the city, putting the city on his back. AJ.
So he came back is that the only reason that he came back to play?
Well, he's not back here for himself.
No, or the money.
This ain't for me. This is like Ben Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger said, I could have retired for me, but my guys love me, and I love them. And that's why we're coming back. I like that relationship quarterbacks have with their team. Are the Saints about to go ahead and do something special in the playoffs?
Whoa.
Drew's doing it for the organization. Put the organization on his shoulder pads, stats on his shoes, slinging the ball all over the yard within a certain distance.
Hey, don't overlook the Bears this weekend. That's a good football team.
Who is?
The Bears. I mean, Zeet's not here to bang the drum, but, you know.
Hey, T's and P's to Zeet, by the way.
What if the Bears win that? What if the Bears win a playoff game?
I mean,
what's that? Their coaching staff. Everyone had their coaching staff fired already, didn't we? Halfway through the season.
Yeah. Wait, what's that, Diggs?
Unfortunately, I have some bad news. The Browns have placed another starter on COVID-19 reserve list, safety Ronnie Harrison.
Oh. Well, we hope he survives.
Yeah, but he's going to be out for a game.
So they got no play caller, no offensive lineman, no safety.
They lost one safety, but they got Sendejo back.
Okay, so
he got the concussion.
that was contact tracing, I do believe, is what got that one safety out, right? Contact tracing, is that what they
Sendejo?
said? No, the other one.
Ronnie Harrison?
Yeah, I believe it was contact tracing, right? No, he got it.
He has a positive test.
So there's another positive test today then?
Actually, it's worse news. There was some spread from Dr. Alan Sills,
Who
NFL's chief medical doctor.
Okay.
There was some spread, one individual to another among the Browns. So not from the community.
Okay, so if there's another positive today, this is Thursday.
Yeah.
That means they haven't completely halted the outbreak, right? Because that's what they got to stop all the spread. So I assume they would need a negative tomorrow, all negatives tomorrow and Saturday. Because if not, what are they going to do? Delay the game?
Monday night.
Are they going to delay the game to Monday night or Tuesday night?
maybe.
Let Stefanski potentially get back on the sidelines? Maybe let him in a fucking booth, huh?
Sounds like a forfeit to me.
No, delay the game.
It takes all of us. We get to the playoffs now. This shit.
Playoffs in 18 years.
Yeah, and you can't contain the virus? What are we doing?
It could have been a DoorDash delivery. What if it was the cop that pulled them over while they were drag racing back home to get to the Zoom meeting?
How about that? Started before that.
Thank you for your service, officer. But what if that? Were you speeding? What if that?
No big deal. There's racing all around town with dope in the car. We don't care about that anymore.
No. We hope they're all safe. They were trying to get to a Zoom meeting.
We don't know whose doobie that was.
Tom Pelissaro does report that the game is still on as scheduled for Sunday night.
For now.
Yeah, for now. I mean, of course it is.
Yeah.
It's not just fucking drop all out panic on Sunday Night Football at this particular moment. Could you imagine Al Michaels? Calling game on a Wednesday or somewhere in the playoffs. This is what I'm doing.
Folks up next week, too.
Hey, we went hard for Stefanski being able to drive himself from Cleveland to Pittsburgh in his own car. Because there's no fans allowed in Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, he goes up a back stairwell into a booth that has been completely locked down, calling the plays from the booth that it would be open there. But it turns out Stefanski doesn't want to do it. Steelers fans are definitely not happy about it, and nobody else is really fighting the fight that we're fighting.
It makes no sense. I mean, let Coach Stefanski coach. It's the only way the Browns have a shot.
Yeah, maybe we put Ronnie Harrison out there in a big old bubble and roll around the field and still play. When does it end?
That's a good idea.
Where does it stop?
That's a good idea. Bubble Boy.
Why is Gumpy so against the Browns?
I don't get it.
Well,
Because
I mean,
he knows it takes all of
I
us.
respect the damn shield.
Also,
That's why.
Who is the 8th team in the AFC this year, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think the Finns are going to get a COVID outbreak if they make it to the playoffs.
Well, that's because they didn't.
Exactly.
And they're making old men resign.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, he
Gumpy
lost
is.
his love for the game a long time ago.
Classic Ohio.
AJ, your thoughts on the games this weekend? Do you think the Bucs beat the hell out of the Washington football team, and is it directly because of what Chase Young said about Tom Brady?
Now, I mean, I saw what Chase Young said. Chase Young is obviously he's a monster, and if he is very confident in what he's saying, I think he may get Tom a few times, but I think the Bucs win. I think they probably win big. I just don't think Washington can score enough to keep up.
I think the Buccaneers offense will take advantage of the situation. And I believe Tom is one of those guys who, even if it isn't an actual disrespectful comment, and I'm not saying common Tom isn't disrespectful because it kind of is, but even if it wasn't, I would assume Tom goes ahead and stacks those chips right on his shoulder as he can, I would assume. And it feels like Tom Brady's competitive edge has been one that has carried him to the GOAT title when it comes to NFL quarterbacks. And I feel like that offense is playing better than they've ever played before, and it's only going to get better. I think this is a bad game for Washington football team.
Yeah, they're just happy to get in the playoffs, don't you think, when you're Washington this year?
No, their shirt said won, not done.
That's right.
Their shirt said won, W-O-N, not done.
Yeah, of course. It would be a huge bonus for them. I don't think any of them are, well, okay, the players are expecting to win, yes, but I don't think a lot of their fans are expecting them to win.
Well, the Bears actually said we got nothing to lose. They're not expecting to win. I don't know. I do not believe the Bears are expecting to win, even though they got a team up there. Mitchell Trubisky has completed passes in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
He has looked good. They're getting 9.5 points in New Orleans. When Sean Payton, if his plan would have worked, would have been a home field advantage. He wanted to quarantine 50,000 people, test 50,000 people, put them on buses, get them in the Superdome. All of a sudden, Who Dat Nation is all the way back. That allegedly got turned down. I don't know by who. Seems like a person who's not all in on the Saints.
Yep.
Home field advantage is not that big of a deal, but they think the sports books believe this is damn near a 10-point game. That's a lot of points for a playoff game, AJ.
That's a bunch of points for a playoff game. I mean, that's just blatant disrespect to Zito's Bears, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Zito is hibernating currently, and hopefully he'll be out of that soon. You know what I mean? You can't poke the bear, but Bear done currently. He'll be back. Goff was slinging the ball at practice. He has a broken thumb. He's got 9 fingers, but he was playing quarterback at practice the other day going into playoff weekend. We don't know if we'll see Wolford. All signs seem to be pointing at Jared Goff starting this weekend in the playoff game. Does that change anything in your eyes in this game against Russell Wilson, who's been cooking again? He got back to the stove the last couple weeks against the Seahawks up there.
I mean, of course it matters. So Goff right now, what is he? He's listed as questionable, I'm guessing?
Yeah, probably. But he's throwing the ball in practice. He's going to play.
Yeah. I mean, if he's obviously it's going to affect him. Like your thumb, any kind of thumb injury on your throwing hand is going to affect you. Let's see how much. But, man, don't you think like when the Seahawks go and they get in the playoffs, like Russ is dangerous, as he says. He's scary. Like I imagine the Seahawks win this one. I think Russ may have a day.
Yeah, they're favored by 3.5. You think they cover that or no?
Yeah, I think they cover it.
Oh, so you think they're just going to beat the shit out of the LA Rams?
Well, I mean, no, winning by a touchdown that's still a tight margin to me.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Ravens, Titans. This one we have not talked much about.
No.
Titans have a running back who had over 2,000 yards. Unbelievable. They get a quarterback that has a complete rebirth in Tennessee. He has a $100 million contract playing up to that level in Tennessee. They win big games, win the AFC South, hosting the Baltimore Ravens, the team last year that was the hottest team in football. Then they get in the playoffs, lose to said Titans team 1 year ago in Baltimore. The Ravens seem to have found their it factor again. All signs seem to be pointing to the over bet here. It's the highest of all the games. I believe the Titans are the number 1 team in hitting over on the season. I believe the Ravens are the number 3 team on hitting over on the season. It's going to be a lot of running. Will it be sparks flying? How do you see this game going? Who do you got winning it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's set up to be a shootout. Tennessee's defense is known to give up some points at times, and Lamar has kind of put things together. It does seem like the Ravens seem like they're one of those scary teams that nobody's talking about right now.
Yeah, that's because they kind of disappeared whenever the Tennessee Titans went and danced on their shield. And then Harbaugh went out there and told Vrabel how disrespectful it was. And Vrabel told him to go fucking coach. Dude, get off the thing, man. If your players want to come talk, let's do that. They had that COVID thing that hit them pretty hard, I believe. And then they all got back together. Feels like they found it. But the Tennessee Titans are going to be a tough out. That's going to be a tough out down there in Nashville.
I mean, 3-point home dogs. I mean, I like that. I do. But I feel like the Ravens are very hot right now.
We got some Gumpy nukes here on this particular game. Can't wait to hear it.
Home dogs since 1980 in the playoffs are 26-14-1 against the spread.
Boom. There's a pretty big bomb right there. So I guess we're betting on the Titans. And I don't think we have any Colts and Bills. How do you the Colts? Okay, Jonathan Taylor Thomas is a guy. Not only home improvement, but superstar running back.
Oh, yeah.
He has come into his own. Going into a Buffalo stadium that will have fans, I believe, right?
Yep.
They will have fans. There will be some Bills Mafia members there. in a team that is so incredibly loose. They're dancing to MC Hammer all over Orchard Park today. There's videos of this Bills team dancing all over the place. Stephon Diggs said, don't even worry about it. I'm playing. Who knows about Cole Beasley, but Josh Allen seems to be in a zone. How do you see this game going? Because the Colts do have a great defense. Jonathan Taylor can move the ball. Yep. T.Y. Hilton seems to be getting hot at the right time and good special teams. This is going to be a very good game, I think.
Yeah, and Darius Leonard saying, like, he's already saying stuff like to the haters that aren't giving the Colts a chance. What do you say? Sit back and watch them fly around and make plays. Like, I guess I'm a little bit surprised that the Bills are 6.5-point favorites because I could see the Colts winning this game.
The Buffalo Bills have just announced that Stephon Diggs is questionable for Saturday now.
He was in those dancing videos, looking pretty well.
Right next to Josh. Yeah. Buffalo Bills doing a little gamesmanship with the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah. The X factor to our offense that was acquired because the Minnesota Vikings and he hated each other. Questionable this weekend. Don't even prepare for him. Don't even prepare for him, Frank Eberflus. Go ahead and take him off the chart. And then Saturday, 105, wham, Stephon Diggs, Minneapolis Miracle right down the goddamn side.
Score!
Bam.
Yeah.
Let's go to Frankie down there in Texas. Frankie, what's going on?
No fucking way.
Pretty cool, huh?
This is fucking awesome. Let's go, Pat. Boys, what it do?
Frankie, I want to let you know, we're pumped to be talking to you, pal.
Yeah.
No, I'm pumped to be talking to you. Shout out AJ Hawk, AJ, Madden 12. Oh, yeah, Madden 12. I would use you every play on defense, and I would let Clay Matthews on the other side of the ball just go ham. Let's go, boys.
Hell yeah.
All right,
Hey, boy, AJ.
Yeah, AJ.
Madden 12, bro. Hiya!
Happy birthday, AJ.
Madden 12. Happy birthday, AJ. All right, quick question for Ty right here. I guess for all the boys, but this one's for Ty. So most likely we're going to I'm a huge Packers fan down here in Texas. Hated by all my Cowboys friends, but let's go.
Let's go.
Since 2012, the Packers have lost in the playoffs to a team that they lost to in the regular season. We're most likely going against the Bucs, and we lost to the Bucs this season. Are you worried at all, Ty, that we will lose to the Bucs? I know A-Rod's playing like he's never played before in his career.
Yeah. Are you worried, dude?
I mean, not really. What do you got to be worried?
Dude. What about trends? You don't care about Frankie's trends, dude?
Is fucking Raj playing or not? If Raj is playing, I'm doing just fine, okay? But yeah, I mean, obviously you hope maybe the Washington football team or the Bears win this weekend, and then you get one of those guys. I mean, that'd be awesome.
Let's go to Pepe down in Mexico. Ooh. Pepe, what's going on, boss?
Órale, cabrones. ¿Qué onda, Pat? ¿Cómo estás?
Hey, muy bien. ¿Y tú?
Muy bien también. By the way, Feliz Navidad and Feliz Año to you, the boys, AJ, and your loved ones.
Oh, Feliz Cumpleaños, man. Thank you so much, dude.
That's actually happy birthday, but anyway, Feliz
AJ.
Navidad.
Feliz Cumpleaños, AJ. Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to add that on.
That is correct. That is correct. Feliz Cumpleaños to the Crimson Chan.
Muchas gracias. We appreciate that, Pepe. What do you want to talk about, pal?
Hey, three quick things. One of them, this is an international show. Just a quick reminder, reporting from an undisclosed location in Texas before I get kicked down to my old Mexico. Number two, I just want to give you a note. A legend just retired, 209 games, 1,300 tackles, 25 INTs, three-time Pro Bowler and Super Bowl champ, Antoine Bethea, just to give a shout out.
Congrats to Antoine Bethea on a legendary career. Respected by everybody. Top of the game. Job well done to Antoine, former teammate of mine. Incredible locker room guy as well as a football player. Congrats to Antoine. I assume he's going to enjoy retirement a lot. I hope he does.
Correct. And last one, you might remember.
All three.
You were given kicks and a cowboy hat to one long snapper one time, doing a skit where you were kicking with that cowboy hat, Matt Overton. Is he a GOAT? He just got AFC South Division champ with the Jacksonville Jaguars, with our coach, and now with Tennessee. Just wanted to give you a question. What do you think about his work in Tennessee?
Thank you, Pepe. Matt Overton has visited damn near every team in the AFC South at this point. Played for the Colts alongside myself and Vinatieri for a while. Then he went down to Jacksonville. Now he's in Tennessee. The guy's in the playoffs. Had a game winner last week, obviously, Stafford. Shout out to Matt Overton. I'm happy for him. The Tennessee Titans, are they the team in the AFC South for the next 10 years?
Unless Carson comes to town.
Yeah.
Is Derrick Henry going to be great? How long is Derrick Henry just going to be so dominant, you think? 3 more years? 4 more years?
Probably
2 more years?
That O-line. Got to keep that O-line healthy.
Running backs, it's tough to guess because, I mean, that's just a lot of – and he just runs people over.
Big running backs, like especially big running backs too.
Jerome Bettis did it for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerome Bettis did a long – because the wheels on the bus went round and round, round and round, round and round.
Bussy also wasn't getting like 400 carries a season, though. That does add up.
You got to assume.
Yeah, but Bussy was, before it was just 1-yard touchdown runs every drive. He was getting the rock a lot.
Yeah. About 400 a season, though. That's a lot.
I watched a behind-the-scenes thing where he was listening to sports talk radio on his way to the stadium while they were filming from the passenger seat.
Oh, yeah?
I was like, who the fuck does that? There's no way.
Bussy.
I felt like that was potentially staged, maybe not even on a game day.
No way.
I was not happy about it. Put a suit on, act like you're going to the stadium, turn on some sports talk. We can just go ahead and pump in something bad's being said about you so it can look like you got mad and ran better. What's going on, Diggs?
Bussy in 1997 did have 375 carries, and one of them went for 94 yards.
Yeah, just like Derrick Henry, by the way. Now, Derrick Henry's changed the game, but old Bussy, people forget about how dominant he was. Let's go to Jason in Orlando. What's going on, Jason? How's Mickey Mouse time?
Yeah, it's all good, Pat. How you doing?
Hey, not too shabby, man. Sounds like you smoke 7 to 8 packs a day.
Yeah, man, it's good to hear. Hey, so Pat, I want to thank you for all the distraction you provide from the really messed up world, because things are kind of crazy out there. Having sports to fall back on is kind of awesome.
Jason, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you listening along. What do you want to talk about, brother?
I was just wondering what you thought. It's a matter of time until you get the Dolphins back in the playoffs, Are they going to be doing it with Tua?
No.
With
Jason, the Dolphins are dead, dude. Got a good head coach, had good momentum. They're done for, though. When Chan Gailey leaves, you got no chance.
Dead.
Just getting started, my friend.
Yeah, we'll see. AJ, Felice Complianos, pal. We got about a minute and a half left here on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Do you have anything to say to the radio listeners? I'm giving you a little bit more time because I do know you feel as if I kind of pressure you into like short little sound bites whenever you want to motivate the listeners on Sirius XM. Chris Mad Dog Russo is obviously next. Do you have anything to say to them in these final 90 seconds, AJ? Really just let it all out, because yesterday you gave some inspiring shit, and I would assume today you're going to do the same.
No, I don't have anything to say as far as that. I just have a question about that last caller. Like, there's no way he was serious, right, with his voice?
Well, you never know.
You never know.
Like how he's whispering, like, hey, Pat, let me get a question. Like, it wasn't like a Coach O thing. It sounded like he was whispering.
AJ, you never know, AJ. You don't know what Jason's been through.
Oh, my bad. You're going to cancel me for saying somebody was faking a voice? Cool. Good luck.
You're a real jerk, AJ.
Sometimes.
He just turned 37.
Yeah.
First off, Ty, I heard you saying something. Ty started to talk.
No, I didn't win. What are you talking about? You're full of shit, AJ. Jeez.
You don't know.
All right, that's it. You guys are terrible people. This show stinks. Thursday, January 7th, 2021. I would assume that Chris Mad Dog Russo is going to have a much better show than ours. Mad Dog Unleashed is next on the Sirius XM Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio channel. We appreciate you listening and watching wherever the hell you may be. We hope to be a mental vacation for you from all the other stuff going on in the world. We try to stay in our lane because it's what we know best. I think a lot of people should potentially start to do that. Tomorrow we're back with a big show. Going into a massive, super wild card weekend. Woo! Chris Mad Dog Russo's on the other side. You got about 6 minutes. Have a great Thursday. Hit it. Yeah, nailed it. Absolutely nailed it, dude. Absolutely nailed it. Did we get to 35,000 today?
I think.
Did we?
Tony? I think 36.
So we did?
Yeah. Wow. And the goal was 33, right?
I think it was 35, wasn't it? Was it 33?
I wasn't. I forget.
Fox will give away $3,500. Foxy.
All right, Phil, you got a phone call coming.
Absolutely. Well, you still have. You're the only one, by the way, that has not given away your money from
Yikes.
a little bit ago. Hashtag end of Pod Squad too. By the way, if you miss any of our show, it is recapped as a podcast. The Pat McAfee Show 2.0. You can download that on any podcast streaming service. Hashtag end of Pod Squad. We're giving away money
giving
over
away
there.
for that. Yep.
We're giving away $3,500 today. Foxy will find out which YouTube commenters win those. Shout out to Foxy being a hero for the fans.
Foxy.
Nice job, Fox.
Nick Morado, what's going on?
It was actually 36K, 36.9 if you want to round up and be generous.
Okay, so Foxy will give away $3,700. All
right.
Wow. Boy, Foxy. Thank you all so much for spending your afternoons with us. Hammer Don is in 32 minutes. We'll talk about a little gambling, what we're thinking going into the weekend. AJ basically predicted all his games. We'll talk to you tomorrow, AJ, about some more riveting topics in the sports world, I assume.
Yeah, of course. I think it'll be. Did I give all my picks? I think I did. So, yeah, I don't need to do it tomorrow.
No, you will have to do it tomorrow because the lines might change.
Yeah. Exactly.
New information might unfold. I mean, there is a lot that can happen from today to tomorrow. That is why you have to join us tomorrow, noon to 3 Eastern Standard Time, youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Dumbest show stinks. You watch. We appreciate the hell out of you. We'll see you manana. Be a friend, tell a friend. From AJ and all of us, you're the best. Cheers. We'll see you at Hammer Don in about 32 minutes.